4 East at Shrewsbury Avenue. That's got the right lane closed there.
Partly sunny skies and feeling pretty good on this Thursday afternoon. 82 should do it for the high. We'll keep a chance of a couple of spotty showers, but don't expect much during the daylight hours. Tonight, clouds, scattered showers, and a couple of non-severe thunderstorms, especially as we get later into the night. 63. Friday still looks like the wet day of the week with periods of rain, couple of thunderstorms, non-severe 78. Fading showers Friday night. Saturday, partly sunny, 69. Sunday, partly sunny, maybe a spot afternoon shower. But again, a lot of dry time on Sunday and 74. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It's a cloudy sky, 77 at the moment, downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Weather sponsored by Renner Garage Door, forward and back, RENNER.
Hey, it's the Cardinal Cowboy. The beginning of a new season is a perfect time for a tune-up from my friends at Renner Garage Door. Need a new door? Get a free replacement quote today. RennerDoorSTL.com. Forward and back. Giddy up!
RENNER.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Good afternoon, St. Louis. DGS 104.1 FM KMOX. Happy Thursday. Right, you're saying it's been a slow week. It has, but just saying Thursday, it's like, oh, okay.
I feel like it's been a very long week. Not a bad week by any means.
Last week was the longest week. That was a weird one. And ironically, I think it's because of Wednesdays when we get half a day off for Cardinal baseball. We just spend so much more time sitting around. I think that like we love it, but then it's kind of takes a toll. You know,
love hate.
Just like sitting around all day.
Yeah,
like hoping for an extra innings game when let's just go in the air. Just go do something fun.
Let's just talk.
Sitting there watching TikTok. It's so dumb. I'm off tomorrow. Just took a day off. Like I don't have to justify taking a day off, but I mean, this is the way I kind of do it.
Explain it, Dave.
Yeah, explain yourself. During the summer, because I don't take much off during the winter, I just like, Friday here and there. And Nick and I are going to see the Cubs in May. That'll be a lot of fun.
That's going to be super fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really excited by that. Guess who I was last night? I was someone I never am. You guys have seen me when it's time to leave. I'm just like the witch on Bugs Bunny, ping, and I'm just gone. And I usually
shadow outline, smoke outline of you,
just dust.
Like, where'd Dave go? Oh yeah, there his car's pulling out.
I'm typically out of here by 5. I'm never here after 5. And last night I stopped and I was talking to our boss Steve Moore, and I didn't leave till 5:45.
Whoa!
Oh yeah, I noticed the Jeep whenever I was
leaving.
Yeah,
and it just made me think of every job I've ever had. There were the late stayers, even at Losh's Farms, where I worked when I was 14 through 20 or something like that. There were, we would work from 7 in the morning until, 4 in the afternoon. And then if you got asked to stay later, which I did eventually, you were the man. Like if you stayed until 7, 8 p.m., there was just, your buddies with the farmer and they're giving you slushies out of the machine for free. And then when I was an attorney, I worked at a sweatshop, and it was like 7 in the morning until 7 at night was a normal day, and I was out of there at the stroke of 7. But a lot of people would stay till like 9 or 10 p.m. and like shooting the crap with the partners, going out for drinks with partners. I just have never been that guy, so it kind of felt nice to be that guy one day out of my life.
There you go.
Yeah,
new experience.
Yeah.
How was it?
It was gratifying.
Okay.
It was nice. I mean, Steve's my pal.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot in common, near the same age, and talk about a lot of stuff. And, we have the same complaints about you guys.
So, yeah,
naturally.
Yeah, we just kind of went down the list.
That's fair.
It's like, who do you think's dumber, Kevin or Andrew? Like, I don't know.
Me.
That's a rough one.
It might be me.
Are you guys late stayers? Have you been gunners in your past lives?
I mean, I've stayed late here many a time.
Yeah, I'm not like afraid to, I don't mind. And I don't generally, unless I have like direct plans that I'd like to get to, I don't mind staying late if the evening calls for it. If I have something else that I need to get done, or if I'm behind on something that's due within when we do our big projects like Halloween, or when I have like, legal reports
when
due
you
or whatever.
walk out late, do you have a sense of satisfaction or a sense of like, oh, I just got screwed by the man?
Neither. It's just like, glad to be going home. The thing about when you stay late with specific stuff in mind is that I find it never does take as long as you're afraid it's going to. Like when you think like, I'm going to be here till like 7:30 or 8 tonight doing this. And then at 6:15, you're like, oh, all right, this is pretty much done. I can go home.
Yeah.
You guys will be shocked that most of the time when I'm late staying, it's because I'm talking to someone.
Yeah, I've noticed.
You guys are shocked at that,
I've
I'm
seen.
sure. Whether it's Steve, which happens quite a bit, or I'm talking to Matt. We're just hanging out and just shooting the bull about something, usually baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not unusual.
Blair says she thought about me the last couple of days. She caught a game in Wichita. Springfield Cardinals were playing there. What a horrible drive. I can't believe you drive all that time to see your daughter at KU. Yeah.
Is it a bad drive?
I like her a lot, obviously.
I've made that drive to Kansas City. Is it just that?
No, it's 4 hours.
So it's beyond that.
Pretty much on the dot. It's about 45 minutes past KC.
Okay.
And it's Kansas, man. I mean,
Yeah.
you go all the way across Missouri, which is the toughest part of it.
Yeah.
And the toughest part is doing it all in one day, which I do.
There
quite a
and
bit.
back. Yeah.
Drive out, leave at 7 a.m, get there at 11, have lunch, take her to Target, buy her stuff, and then head home, get home at 8, 9, 10 p.m.
That sounds
no thanks.
terrible.
Even though like when I drive to Colorado, I do the whole thing in one bite. So 13 hours, 14 with traffic. That seems less oppressive than driving somewhere 4 hours and driving back.
Also because you have stuff in between that.
Yeah.
So it ends up probably being longer than your 12 or 13 hours.
Yeah, true.
Plus, you're going, like when you're going there, when, I don't know, like the short round trip, I've done those a few times, not very common, but a few times I've done those. And you're just like, all right, well, I'm back where I started, as opposed to going to someplace you really like.
It's one of those things too. There's so many things like this in life that the idea of it is so much better than the it. And the idea, anytime I'm taking a long drive, whether it's Florida, Colorado, going to see Phoebe, I'm excited. Like, especially if I'm going by myself. Like, I don't mind going, Maureen, Nick, whoever, we're all going, whatever. But when it's just me, I'm like, oh, this is going to be great. You're going to catch up on podcasts. You're going to do some thinking. You're going to stop at Casey's Pizza and get some pizza halfway there. And then this and this and this. And it's 20 minutes in, I'm like, oh, this sucks.
Yeah. I mean, I can't even count how many hours on the road. So like when I first moved here, it took us 19 months to sell our house up in Chicago. So wife and daughter stayed up there until we sold the house. So I was going back every weekend.
Oh, geez.
So I was leaving after work on Friday night. So typically it would be like after a Cardinals game on a Friday night, I would just get in my car and get there around 3:00 in the morning, try to have a normal weekend, and then come back here, leave early Monday morning, and go straight to work.
Hey, our buddy Hayes just texted me. What's up, Hayes?
Hey, what's
Says
up?
it's 7 hours to Wichita, his hometown. Worst drive ever.
Yeah. There are a lot. Honestly, I'm not trying to blow smoke. I'm a Midwestern kid. I grew up in the Midwest. Most Midwest drives suck.
Yeah.
Driving through Indiana is terrible. Driving through most of Illinois is terrible. You got to get to southern Missouri before it gets interesting.
Yeah.
And, like Tennessee's pretty boring until you get to the mountains. So I there's just not a lot of fun sightseeing through most of the Midwest.
Yeah. And not all of southern Missouri is interesting either. Like southern middle Missouri, like the Ozarks, that's great. But if you're going down, like straight down past
55,
past like Cape and all that, like you're going to Tennessee.
Yeah.
Hoo-wee.
Yeah, not much there.
That is deader than dead. And then it's somehow when you get into Arkansas, it gets even worse.
Yeah.
Arkansas is unbelievable. There's not a tree in that state.
When we drove from Keystone in Colorado down to the Great Sand Dunes National Park, it was about 3.5 hours through what is officially a desert. And it was like, as far as you could see,
nothing.
just a little bit of scrub brush.
Any mountains in the distance or anything like that?
Kind of, but
Okay,
not
but way
really.
distant?
It was so strange because I think we're at like 8,000 elevation most of the time, but there were very few peaks. That freaks me out. How you can have like flat tops of mountains, like when you're coming out of Denver and you see the mountains. Even though I've been there many times and I know civilization is there, you're like, well, there's no way you can build something on the side of that.
Yeah, yeah,
Like it just doesn't make any sense.
yeah. It's flatter than it looks. I'll say that's when you guys make the drive. You ever get that drive often through like the mountain part of Tennessee, where you're going like through towards Chattanooga, like that area?
Yeah, yeah.
And there's
love Chattanooga.
there's a nice little lake area there,
Yeah.
and there's always the one mansion right at the top of a mountain. You're like,
How'd they do that?
what? There's nothing else up there.
I love Chattanooga.
There's just a house on a mountain overlooking a lake.
Yeah. Brian tells me, apropos of me not being able to swallow that pill a couple days ago, his mom always said, turn your head sideways toward your shoulder. I'll check it out.
I don't doubt Brian's mom, but that sounds like it could complicate things at the same time. Like you're already choking and then you're turning
Yeah.
your neck like that. I don't know.
I've heard something like that. I don't remember if it was exactly that, but that sounded really familiar when I read it. That I think I have seen a similar thing. There's
Yeah.
something about like the way your reflexes and muscles work.
Yeah. So, the show is about us, primarily about me, because it's my show. And I started when I was 36. Now I'm 60. When I was 36, I talked about 36-year-old things. I'm 60, I'm going to talk. It'd be weird and creepy if I talked about 36-year-old things now, being 60. And Reels, you probably won't get this. You're still too young. But something happened when I turned 60. So, again, this sounds like braggadocio, but I think for 60, I'm in pretty good shape. I can still do most of the things I want to do without effort. But I realized today, I got up out of my chair after sitting in my chair in our office, Rach, for like an hour straight. And I realized that I used to just move my body. Now it's like I'm driving a vehicle. It's like I'm inside this flesh car. Because like when you're in a car and like the wind hits you and you're like, whoa, hey, whoa, whoa. Like when you get a little older, that's the way your body feels.
All right.
Like you get up to walk and your legs are a little numb, a little heavy from sitting there too long. And it's like, okay, oh, hey,
Yeah.
hey,
Got to
hey.
do a reset.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
It's the difference between being the thing and being inside the thing and you're operating it.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
No, I totally get it. I totally get it. Yep.
Kind of like if you've had a really good workout the next day.
Yeah,
You're just kinda
sore,
like,
you're like, "Wah."
Me not know how to move legs.
Right. That doesn't want to work, right?
Mm-mm.
I just noticed that you rely on, like, it used to be like I'm getting out of the chair and you just stand up and jump out of the chair.
Right.
And now it's like, well, my arms can help me with
It's a
that.
process.
You just pull.
It's a process. I rarely bend over anymore without bracing against something.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Just
There's times that's when I'm stiff, like when you're, after long day at the baseball field, that's, like hand on the wall.
and when I put
Yeah.
my socks on without sitting down or leaning against something, I feel like a porn star.
Dave's like, I won today.
I should open an OnlyFans and just put my socks on.
When did
like
that
this.
when did that start?
What?
Like I'm gonna try to, like, standing to put on socks was like an achievement.
Last couple years.
Okay.
Yeah.
'Cause I feel like I'm going that direction.
Yeah.
Like I still do it the way I always did.
It becomes more and more of an
but
achievement.
every once in a while, I'm like, man, I'm a little wobbly.
And the crazy thing is, as people who are listening who are 70 or 75,
Yeah.
I'll look back on the way I am right now and go, I'd give anything to be 60 again.
Yeah.
You know?
Because I got the problem too. I'm like, I'm really top heavy. So if I tilt, I'm gone.
Yeah. You're the opposite of a weeble.
Upside down bowling.
You're
pin.
an upside down. You know who you're built like? Remember the bulldog on Bugs Bunny?
Mhm. Yeah.
Those
just have
tiny little legs.
Tiny little legs and a great big torso.
It's so accurate. Wouldn't it be great? Like I wear like I don't get pants that are the size of your waist and length. It's just your how many months old you are.
Yeah.
I'm in the 24-month-old.
Right. Or if you just
Your
started
little
wearing
baby legs.
shirts that go past your knees, so you look like you have those tiny little.
baby legs. Oh my god. Or like was it Bugs Bunny that had the big hairy monster guy?
Yeah.
A little bit like that too, because you just see like
Yeah.
little feet at the bottom.
What
Yeah.
was his name?
Yeah, I
Gossamer.
just asked the
Oh.
same question.
Gossamer. That one scared the pee out of me.
Spooky.
Oh,
Spooky monster.
man. Mm-mm. And we used to, you remember the mad scientist who sniffed the ether? The bald guy, he had a
Yeah.
big giant head, then he
Yeah.
was floating. He
Yeah.
looked kind of like Peter Lorre. That whole thing was just bizarre. Monsters are such interesting people.
Yeah, that guy was.
Oh, that
guy's the
guy.
creeper, man.
Yeah.
I didn't mind the monster guy. But that dude,
Yeah.
little big brain guy, that's a weirdo.
Tell you guys about Triton Exteriors. Everything you probably don't need them. If however many thousands of people are listening right now, there's only going to be a couple hundred at any given time who are in need of a new roof or roof repairs or siding or gutters or fences. But for you guys, you need to know that this really is the best option. I have never been the kind of person, like in a Donald Trumpian kind of way, to be like, everyone else are losers. Everyone else sucks. Everyone else is going to take advantage of you. Not true. In the construction business and the exteriors business, there are probably more bad actors. I know from my client, the Better Business Bureau, that most of the complaints they get are about people who do this kind of work. Tim, the owner, is a great guy. Spent about 20 years in the high-end restaurant business, so he's all about customer service. His guys make fun of him because he takes his phone into the bathroom to make sure that if any customers need him, he's accessible. They'll always be the middle bid because they're not going to cut corners, but they're not going to take advantage. 314-717-1159, triton-stl.com.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Setting goals for retirement is one thing, but knowing how to achieve those goals is another.
What are your wishes, hopes, and dreams? What's retirement look like for you? Because everybody, that picture is different.
For tips on building a better nest egg, tune in to the All Financial Hour with host Steve All, Saturday mornings at 10 or Sunday evenings at 6, right here on KMOX. You can also visit yourmoneymattersstl.com for more details.
When we started Neovitin back in 2009, we wanted to create a multivitamin that we would take ourselves. That's why we use quality ingredients in our Neovitin Original Formula multivitamin. With over 20 vitamins and minerals, along with our physician-formulated proprietary blend, you can be sure you are getting the highest quality daily nutritional support. Give Neovitin Original Formula multivitamin a try for yourself. Find it at your local Schnucks, Dierbergs, and online at neovitin.com.
Need a lawyer? Onder wins. Call Onder Law at 314-9-million. That's 314-9 all zeros. Or go to onderwins.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
Anderson is the #1 window and door brand for customer service. Find out why Renewal by Anderson has the most 5-star reviews in St. Louis at rbastl.com or call 314-332-1957. rbastl.com.
104.1 FM KMOX, the voice of St. Louis. Stronger than ever.
$123 DGS, another pretty day out there. You know, I just have these thoughts sometimes in the evenings. And I was thinking last night, Wheels, the way that we make fun of the way that we are designed, if we're designed.
Right.
That we breathe and swallow through the same tube. Seems really stupid. I was thinking about teeth. like in 2025, science fiction future with dentists and mouth rinses and toothpaste and Oral-B toothbrushes, we still struggle with our teeth. Like when you get into your older age, a lot of people have to get them replaced or get dentures and stuff. What a terrible design that you need all of that technology when we've had teeth for a couple million years. And you think about people even 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 1,000 years ago. Did they lose their teeth by the time they were 30?
I don't know, but there were probably a lot of people missing a lot of teeth back in the day.
Yeah, it just seems like a bad design.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they weren't meant to go past 30 or 40 years.
I mean,
that's like a warranty.
Seems like a bad life if they're just like, yeah, these guys,
well,
they'll live half their life gumming stuff. They're fine.
Oh man,
Wheels, I thought of you today. You probably would have said something. I was in a QT,
all right,
and a couple of guys were, shooting the crap about sports as they were checking out, and someone mentioned the Blues. And I don't know, coming back from a 2-game deficit, they won 12 in a row and all this. And the lady next to them says, I know what it is. And she's not kidding. She's being completely serious. Have you seen the Jobu?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
I don't know
from
what that
Major
is.
League. It's like a little
It was Serrano's little
witch doctor
god, basically.
kind of thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
She said they've turned to witchcraft.
Oh, for God's
The same, and she couldn't have been more serious. You can picture her, kind of a Karen.
Right, right.
She said the St. Louis Blues have turned to straight up witchcraft, worshiping this Jobu that he delivered through paranormal dark arts to give them the 12-game winning streak. But now God has turned on them. And I'm fascinated. I'm shopping for beef jerky at this point just to stay in the store longer. And the two guys were so taken aback, they didn't even say a word.
Just being polite.
They're just
Probably just trying to get away from
they're just
her.
like,
I would
yeah,
have laughed
okay.
so hard, like right there in her face. Like, that's crazy. You're crazy. You're crazy.
So why do they have the Jobu? Like, has it just become like a mascot of
Yeah,
sorts?
it's kind of like when the 2011 Cardinals had Rally Squirrel and things
Okay.
like that. Like sometimes something funny happens or something weird happens, and then you just start playing well. So everybody
Coincidence.
everybody plays along like, oh well, must have been Joe Boo because
Yeah.
we brought that. And everybody in sports does it because it's fun. It's not. Nobody believes it's actually working. Nobody actually thinks that little doll is making you win. Like it's fun. You're like, look at that.
I find it funny that God was like, all right, I'll let you worship
That's
this guy
enough.
for 12 games, and
Right,
then I'm
right.
stepping in.
And then that's it.
Also,
you get into the playoffs, I'm going to get my pound of flesh.
The idea that this little toy Jobu witch doll has any real power is hilarious. It's it's just objectively hilarious.
Yeah.
It's like $4 toy. Like, yep, that has the power to decide the outcomes of games.
She even went into more detail because
my
I was
God.
behind her.
Yeah.
And she started orating to the person checking her out. And she said, there are other gods because the Bible and God, Yahweh, talks about being jealous of other gods. So Jobu must be some sort of god.
Oh, that makes sense.
But God doesn't like it.
I hadn't thought about that yet.
Yeah,
that
God
makes
doesn't
sense.
like it.
The QT guy's like, all right, thanks. See you later.
Yeah.
Have a
Yeah.
nice day.
Have a good one.
You can have your drink for free, man. Please. You can just go.
She was dropping knowledge.
That's great. Knowledge.
Oh, my goodness.
People, why do we believe in that? Why does anybody believe like jinxes are real?
Well, I mean, I don't even look down on people who think that kind of stuff can be real or can be effective because, like, I don't really know, but I don't think the Blues franchise has like taken part in this. It does seem like harmless fun when it's a hockey
Mr.
team.
Stillman's like, get me a lesser god.
Yeah, they're all like, we're going to be into Jobuism. We're selling our souls to the tiny little guy with a cigar.
They're like, well, we have a
For
sea
12
monster
games.
that lives in a pond in Africa. We have Jobu. He's like, Jobu, give me that one.
Jobu, yeah.
It's like, we might win like 12 games and Yahweh will have his come up.
And then you got, you always got to pay the piper.
Yep. It is funny to think about a sports owner to his executives being like, okay, so the Bible talks about how God is jealous of the lesser gods, right? So here's what
Find
I'm
me
thinking.
one.
Here's what I'm thinking.
Also, like, why would you, if you're like boss God, why would you let little Jobu God have any power or sway over anything?
a lot of
Like
questions.
you're like, oh yeah, no, you can impact like 12 games, and then I'm going to shut you down, buddy. Like that's it. You got 12. That's all you get. Nope. Now I'm mad at you guys. So stop doing it.
Well,
Him
he's-
as a fickle god.
As Brian's pointing out, he's all over T-shirts and towels now. So
Yeah.
it's gonna go bad.
Hi, this is Charlie Brennan, along with Dr. Colleen Bosler from the Audiology Center. Doctor, tell us a little something about the history of the Audiology Center.
At the Audiology Center, we care about our patients. They are like our family. For us, we want everyone to feel comfortable and confident in their choice to work with us. We ensure best practices for our patients, which include real ear measurements and testing to ensure the best possible outcomes for everyone with their hearing aids. Dr. Fon started the Audiology Center in 1982, and I purchased the practice in 2017. Dr. Adam Voss joined us about a year ago, and we all want to use our educational backgrounds and our passion for hearing care to help everyone reconnect to their loved ones. We have been around for 43 years, and we want to earn your trust in your hearing care needs. We have 3 locations. Call us at 636-441-7470 or visit us online at theaudiologycenterstl.com.
Now it's time for Dave Murray's weather, sponsored by OverheadDoorSt.Louis.com.
Once again, that early summer feel with 82 for the high this afternoon. Partly sunny skies, maybe a shower here and there, but don't expect much in the way of wet today. Tonight, cloudy skies, increasing showers, and a couple of non-severe thunderstorms, especially later on in the evening and the overnight, 63. Friday, periods of rain, a couple of thunderstorms, non-severe 78. Fading showers Friday night. Fairly quickly. Saturday, partly sunny, 69, and Sunday, partly sunny, maybe a spot afternoon shower, and 74 Sunday afternoon. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
If you need a new garage door, this could be your lucky day. Entries are open now for the $5,000 sweepstakes at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Enter now at overheaddoorstlouis.com. You can't win if you don't enter at overheaddoorstlouis.com.
St. Louis, your drive home just got a whole lot better. Introducing Redbird Rush Hour, weeknights at 5. Get the latest local news, up-to-the-minute traffic, and exclusive St. Louis Cardinals insights, all in one power-packed hour. Whether you're stuck in traffic or cruising home, stay informed and stay connected to your city and your team. The Redbird Rush Hour, weeknights at 5 on the voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
So one thing that I love about Dr. Kathy Maupin and everyone who works with her at BioBalance Health and BioBalance Skin is that they don't blow smoke. If they have a treatment, if they have a procedure, if they have an ointment, if they have lotion, if they have anything at all that they are going to offer to you, it's going to work. Now, like anything, it's going to work better for some people than others, or some people will be more satisfied with it than others, but they don't do anything that's just sort of like snake oil. And in fact, Dana, who's the injector, she told me, she's like, look, don't waste your time with Oil of Olay or stuff like that. They do really Neutrogena. They do great ads, and Jennifer Garner's face looks great. Like, don't fall for that, because none of that stuff works. It's just like, it feels good going on and feels good for 5 minutes, and then it doesn't really do anything. So you can trust them that if they say, yeah, microneedling, here's what it's going to do. Here's when your face is going to look the best. It's for this event, or it's for 2 weeks out, or XYZ, or the pellets are going to last 6 months, or Botox is going to last 3 months. They're telling you the truth. So BioBalance Health and BioBalance Skin are right next door in Creve Coeur. Give them a call or log on to biobalancehealth.com.
Hi, my name is Christina Straight, the owner of Straight Realty, and I'm asking you, what do you want in a realtor? Do you want experience? I've been a broker for over 21 years. Do you want to know how much I've sold? I've sold over $500 million, yes, $1 billion with a B, in sales. Do you want value? I now list properties for only 2%. So if you're looking for all these things and want the best, then call me 314-441-4444. Why pay more than 2? You can also listen to my podcast on my website, straightrealty.com.
Commissions are not regulated and are negotiable. Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
Hi, this is Charlie Brennan. I see clearly now thanks to the doctors, Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andy Royer. You can too. YourEyeDoc.com.
Hey, this is Charlie Brennan. Have you noticed loose bricks or missing mortar around your house, on the walls, the patios, the walkways, the porch, or the chimneys? If so, you need to call Morelli Tuck Pointing. 314-645-1387. You might need one of two things: solid tuck pointing, the removal of old mortar with the replacement of new mortar throughout an entire wall or chimney, or maybe just spot tuck pointing. Spot tuck pointing involves the tuck pointing of a particular wall, a chimney, or other masonry surface in an area where it's needed the most. One example might be settlement cracks, usually found above or below windows or doorways. 314-645-1387. Call the company that the Brennans have called when we've needed tuck pointing. Morelli Tuck Pointing, the masonry specialists. Winner of the Angie's List Super Service Award every year since 2005. 314-645-1387, MorelliTuckPointing.com.
Cards manager Ollie Marble joins the Gas House Gang every Tuesday at noon. Sponsored by Siteman Cancer Center on the voice of the Cardinals. 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Welcome back, guys. DG Ask 135. Rach, you missed it. When we got back from lunch, I walk into Andrew and Wheeler's office, and who's sitting there but our buddy Mike Claiborne.
Yep.
So, of course, I take a seat at the table, and for the next maybe hour, I just sit and listen to Claiborne and Wheels talk about baseball, and Claiborne knows everybody.
Yes, he does.
Everybody.
Yes, he does.
And in baseball, out of baseball, you need a table for two in Hackensack. He's got somebody.
He's got a guy.
He's got a guy. I thought I knew everybody. I thought the Glover Mafia was impressive.
He's got guys in South Florida.
This
Got
dude.
guys in the Dominican. He's got guys, yeah.
But it was so, I really appreciated it. It like, I feel honored to know him, to be buddies, but then just like sitting there listening to you two talk about baseball and being smart enough to not interject very much. Like, it was just cool.
He's fun. It's fun to talk with Claves. So what he gets access to is more than what I get access to, just because he's traveling with teams and players. And obviously, he's been here forever. So, he knows literally everybody in baseball. Anybody that's related to the sport of baseball in St. Louis, Claves knows.
Yeah.
And so, when he's talking about things, it's a great way to gain perspective and understand things, right? Because there are things, and I'm trying to say this in a way that it makes the most sense without sounding really bad, but there are things that when you're closer to teams, you kind of know and understand, but it's not something you can just come out and say, because it's not meant to be public information sometimes, but it does help you understand why things are going on or what's happening. And sometimes it's a good reason, and sometimes it's a dumb reason. Just because it's a reason doesn't mean it's actually a good reason. And sometimes it's more like, as an example, we've talked about with Ollie, right? And this is part of what we were talking about, what Claves and I were talking about today. It's just shooting the bull about the bullpen. And, when you watch the game yesterday and you see Ryan Fernandez come in, and the immediate reaction from most people watching is, where's Maton? Why is Maton not pitching? Well, that's kind of to the point that there are things we don't know. I always try to be clear about that. I would bet that if they're not going to their best guy in that situation, that means that best guy's not available that day. And the team's not going to advertise something like that. But you know what they will do? When the broadcasters get to meet with the head coaches, in this case, the managers before the game, you do find out things along those lines. And you have the context so you can explain without giving information away. When we were covering the Blues, as an example, when the Blues were here and I was still here, we were in on all the pregame meetings with the rights holders. So it would be, Curbs and Bernie Federko and Kelly Chase and all those guys. And we'd all be in there with Ken Hitchcock, for example. And he'd be telling us these things before a playoff game. Not things that we could repeat for the public, but things that gave us an understanding of what we were seeing so that our coverage would be on point, right? And that happens in all sports all over everywhere. It doesn't matter what sport it is. There are always those conversations that are not so much off the record, but it's just not to be repeated.
And I'm going to repeat the one contribution I made that made Claibs laugh. I said that sports are so different, and baseball in particular, that if, say, for example, Rach, you sang in your church choir in Grafton, and then you and Kurt go to the Metropolitan Opera, and you see the best mezzo-soprano in the world, you're probably not going to crap on her, right? You're probably not going to be like, here's how she should have hit that F minor. But if you played one season of high school baseball, you know everything there is to know. You know when you should bring Maton in. You know when Helsley should pitch, right? And even I'm a little bit like that, but some people, mostly guys, are really like that.
I mean, I'm like that too, but I think the way I try to balance it is explaining that there are things that we can't know. We can only know what we do know, which is why if people notice, like, I'm not the guy that runs around yelling people should be fired ever in any sport.
Other than Andrew.
Because A, I don't think it's useful, and B, there are things I don't know, and you have to acknowledge that. It's okay to criticize. And by the way, I say this, Ollie comes on Tuesday on the Gas House Gang. He will answer every question the guys have. And you guys know that the guys are not exactly there playing, patty cake. Like, they're going to ask the real questions, and Bernie's going to ask the real questions, and he's going to press. And you can hear the answer that the man has to give. Ollie will give you answers. That doesn't mean you have to agree with the explanation. It doesn't mean you have to take that and go, well, that's it. That's all there is to it. But at the same time, he does know things that I don't know about a player's physical health, about something else behind the scenes. There are things that we don't get access to.
I heard Paulie talking about this with Chris and Amy this morning, and what he said I thought was really fair. He said that Ollie Marmol has never not answered a question.
Right.
And
right.
that
he's very open.
When he answers a question, Matt, even if he disagrees with why did you make this move, he understands the logic.
Yeah. So we'll use this as an example from this Tuesday, right? This Tuesday on the Gas House Gang, the guys were asking him about last Friday's game and why they did not go to Ryan Helsley in a tie game in the 9th inning against the Braves to get to the 10th inning. And Ollie's explanation was, well, look, when you get to extra innings, there's a runner on second base to start the inning. And we want, if we're going to use our guy that gets a lot of strikeouts, we want him to be there so we know we have a better chance of getting out of that inning. Now, my response to that is that, again, it's a thought out answer. There's a reason for what they're doing. But then my answer would be, but the 10th inning doesn't matter if you don't get there.
Yeah.
That matchup doesn't matter if you don't get there. And in the 9th inning, I'm sorry, this wasn't the Braves, it was the Mets. In the 9th inning, you were facing Francisco Lindor, Juan Soto, and Pete Alonso. You probably want your best reliever there and not Ryan Fernandez, who's been struggling. So again, even if he's giving you an answer, you don't have to agree with it. And it doesn't mean that it's the correct explanation, but it's the honest answer for what they're doing and why they're doing it. So that allows us the means to say, you know what, that's a good point. Or I still don't agree with that.
I have an interesting sports question for all of you. So Tommy Pham, who is with the Cardinals a couple times, is known for being very aggressive and very intense. And he does mixed martial arts, and he's always trying to fight people. And you either love him or you hate him. Like, you hate him if he's playing against you. You love him if he's playing for you. Did you see the thing where the guy touched him? Wheels.
I'm looking at the article right now.
No.
So he's back toward the wall.
Oh, where the fan did?
Yes. And the fan, Andrew, reaches out. Fan's got a glove on. And sort of, in slow motion, it's a little disturbing. He sort of lovingly rubs it across Tommy Pham's back. He doesn't hit him. He doesn't abuse him in any way. He just reaches out and touches him. And Tommy Pham spins on him and gives him a glare and then has him removed and moved to another place in the stadium. So do you guys think, come on, you're overreacting, or like, hey, you just don't touch players?
Super valid. Absolutely. The fact that he didn't just have the guy straight up thrown out, that he just had him move to a different area so that he couldn't touch on him anymore, I think that's completely valid. No, the guy wasn't attacking him or whatever, but it's like you always say, like, how is Tommy Pham supposed to know that? He doesn't know what this guy's intentions are. He doesn't know what's in this guy's brain. So like I said, the fact that he didn't, grab at the guy or try to yank him out of the stands, and the fact that he just didn't have him thrown out entirely, which would, I think, be well within his rights, and instead just was like, hey, move this guy to a different section where he can't whack me with his glove
Was it
anymore.
Monica Seles that was stabbed? Yeah.
And I mean, look, he couldn't see the guy doing this. I just pulled up the video, and the guy looks like, I don't know what he's trying to do, get his attention to get the ball or something. Like, I can't tell because the foul pole's kind of in the way. But I always ask these questions because people are like, he didn't really do anything. If you were at the bank or you were at the grocery store and you went behind, you reached over to the person checking out your groceries and you just rubbed on their back, you think they'd want you removed?
I mean, I do.
Yeah. I mean, like,
but they know you.
I think
if you wouldn't do it in a normal setting where there's a business transaction happening, that's his workplace. For these players, this is their job. This is their workplace. And if you would not do that in a law office to someone you don't know, would you go up to someone in a law office you don't know and just rub your hand down their back and then act like there's nothing going on?
Well, you're making it sound hot now. So
Yeah, it's like, well, I mean, when you put it that way,
that's not quite fair.
I'm just
When you
saying.
put it that way, yeah, maybe I
just
would.
because
actually.
they're on a field playing a sport doesn't mean they're not at work, and
That's
doesn't
to
mean
rub
that
you.
like normal
Yeah.
rules don't apply. Don't touch them.
That's like the first thing they teach you whenever you go to preschool or
Yeah,
something.
right.
Is
Yeah.
keep
Right.
your hands to yourself.
Keep your
don't
hands
touch
to
people
yourself.
who
it's
don't want you
very
to.
simple, and it would even be different if it was another player that did that. But there is a divide between the players and the audience, and that needs to be respected. It's the same thing at a concert. You shouldn't be trying to touch people and try to grab on people.
Amen. Yeah. If you did that same thing to a random person you don't know at a concert, there'd be a problem. I mean, just no unwanted touching is a pretty good rule.
But then he turned around and he had his little lewd gesture. Did you see
Yeah,
that
he
one?
probably
No.
could. Yeah, he probably
did?
should have.
You flipped him off?
Yeah, he probably should have held
He
that
did.
one back.
He did something else.
Oh.
The Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup Tournament is coming back to St. Louis. Join us on May 7th at Energizer Park for the round of 32 and watch St. Louis City SC battle Union Omaha to kick off our run for America's most historic trophy. Get tickets at stlcitysc.com/Open Cup and help the boys in red bring home an 11th U.S. Open Cup to our city. Join KMOX broadcasting live from Chesterfield Valley Nursery, Saturday, April 26th from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Take advantage of special offerings for Customer Appreciation Day. Saturday, the 26th at Chesterfield Valley Nursery, just east of the entertainment complex.
So personally, I wish that there was a Michael's Flooring type of business for every single business. As you guys, if you listen to the show, you know, because I say it in my live endorsements all the time, I don't like talking to salespeople. I don't like being sold. I have walked away from many different transactions where I wanted the thing. I want the motorcycle. I want the drum set, whatever. But the sales process just turns me off. With Mike, it's so absolutely perfect for someone like me. And if you're like me, you're going to appreciate it. You go to one of the three Michael's locations, you kind of, you know what you're looking for. You know whether it's hardwood or it's you know, wall-to-wall carpeting or an area rug. You let them know what you're looking for. They will tell you very politely, professionally, simply, concisely, here's what we have. Based on what you're telling me, here's what I would recommend. But if you want to save a little money, you can go this way. If you don't mind spending an extra $300, you can go that way, and that's going to be top of the line. And then if you say like, okay, let us think about it, we're going to go have lunch. We'll call you in a couple of days. No one's going to hound you. No one's going to follow you out to the parking lot. They're not even going to call you. They trust you that when you're ready to buy, you're going to buy. And if they push you into it, you may end up being sideways with them because I don't think people regret purchases that they got pushed into. We know that. That's why we treat you with respect. MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com.
The following heartwarming yet informative scene is brought to you by Trust and Will.
Son, your grandpa and I used to work on this car together, and when I'm gone, I want you to have it.
Wow. Thanks, Dad. Doesn't count. What you need is a will. Luckily, Trust and Will makes it easy. Designed by attorneys, but customized by you, you can easily create a state-specific, legally valid document that actually counts. Now, let's let the engine do the talking, am I right? Start your will at trustandwill.com. Use offer code COUNT for 20% off and make it count. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. For details, see trustandwill.com.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to Big Wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Farming's hard. To feed the world, farmers have to work the land, brave the elements, and fight the battle against weeds. Weeds reduce crop yields, so prices go up and everybody gets less to eat. But 50 years ago, farmers got a new tool to fight weeds, glyphosate. It kills weeds while protecting the harvest. Time and again, it has been approved by the EPA and by leading regulatory bodies around the world. It helps enable practices that reduce erosion and keep soil healthy, which is good for the earth. Farming's hard, but it's a little easier with glyphosate. Learn more at go.bayer.com/glyphosate. Paid for by Bayer.
Hi, Stacy with Fairwinds Rivers Edge Senior Living in St. Charles. Are you a senior seeking a fun retirement? Do you want less work and more play? Do you want to enjoy great food that you don't have to cook? Then I know. Stop what you're doing right now and call Fairwinds. Set up a time to visit and have a meal. Meet some of our awesome residents. Check us out online at fairwindsriversedge.com. We hope to talk with you soon.
Welcome back, DGS 150. I think I sent Andrew the sound of it. Maybe I didn't, but it's pretty easy to paraphrase. One last thing on kind of quote unquote sports. But Donald Trump did a little diatribe yesterday about how Indians, as he refers to them, are offended and discouraged because teams have changed their names. And the Redskins was a far superior name to the Guardians, and they should go back to it. And it had class and XYZ.
It's always one of those issues that, like, when people say, well, natives like it or don't like it, I mean, they're not all one mindset.
Mm-hmm.
There are people that were fine with it. There are people that detested it and felt it was insulting. The fact of the matter is, why is it quote unquote cool if a team's name is like Redskins? Like, what honor does that have? Like, what why should that carry any honor? All it is just a name that somebody picked 50 years ago. Right? Like, why
so you're saying, like, regardless?
Well, this is my point. Like, I don't care. I think it's fine if there are people that are Native American that did not like that name. There are people that are Native American that didn't care or even liked it. That's true. No group of people is monolithic. So saying that, well, I talked to some, well, that doesn't decide it. You made the move, and which name sounds like, now it's 2025. When you say, here's the name of a football team, Redskins or Commanders? By the way, after being the city where the commander-in-chief resides, it's basically named after the president of the United States. That's the team name, the Commanders, because the commander-in-chief resides in Washington, D.C. So if you were going to say, we don't know any history, we don't know anything about past names, would you rather be called Redskins or Commanders? I'd probably be rather referred to as a commander. Like, I'm in charge. I'm the boss. We're badasses. We're in the nation's capital. Like, that's where I think we just got to get over this stuff. If you don't like it, it's fine to not like it, but it's also not worth clinging to. It's just, if you took my favorite teams and said, we're changing the name of your team, I'd be like, fine, still my favorite team. I don't care. I'm not attached to it. I'm a Miami Hurricane. If they had changed it to the Miami Pelicans, I don't care. It's stupid, but I don't care. It's not going to change anything.
Do you think that's because you're you?
Probably. Probably. Because I'm still going to call them what I want to in my regular day-to-day conversations.
I think Wheels nailed it. It's a diverse group of people. It's silly to say all members
they
of a
love
certain
it.
group. Yeah,
or they
like,
hate it.
Just like all white people don't think the same way. All black people don't think the same way. Like, that's crazy to be like, everyone agrees. Well, that's not true. So I see why you would want to change the name from something that could be perceived as painful or harmful, because it's like, is it worth it at the end of the day? Is it really worth it if you are offending some people, if you are hurting some people?
Yeah.
It's an easy thing to fix.
And then, like, the Cleveland Indians becoming the Guardians, right? mean, so we think the better name is the name that is based on a gigantic mistake that people made hundreds of years ago, thinking it was India, because that's where the name Indian came from. They thought they found India going around the ocean the other way. Well, that's they're of their time. It's just a giant mistake. So we think that's the good name, but Guardians isn't a good name. Like, come on. We're attached to it. I understand that we get attached to things when we're young and we grow attached to teams and identities and team colors and things like that. It's fine. But we're also grown-ass people who can realize the name of the team you like doesn't matter.
But then I think, and I know you guys agree, that there is a not insignificant group of people that hate anything that changes because it offends people.
Yeah, they don't like people. I don't like to be told what to do. Well, those people are perfectly fine telling other people what to do with whatever issue they want to. You know, I mean, like it's just not that deep. It's a sports team name. If the team or the league thinks we're better off changing it, fine. And if you don't like it, keep your old jerseys and wear it and call it what you want.
What about is it Freeburg that has the midgets?
Yeah.
What about that? When there is a group of people who are very passionately against the name, but the community is very passionately in favor of the tradition, do you side on one side or the other?
I would always side on respect for human beings over respect. And I mean, like, for human beings for being who they are as opposed to what we've always done. I don't think tradition trumps general human dignity.
They're trying to make it a law, though, to get rid of those kind of names
Yeah,
over
I don't
in
think
Illinois.
it's necessary to do that.
Yeah, especially they brought up like the Granite City Warriors. I don't
No, nothing wrong.
understand
See, to
what's
me,
wrong
that's
with
not
Warriors.
that's not a name that comes with any negative connotation. It was
Maybe
the same
you
thing
could
with
use the wrong kind of imagery or something.
Right,
but
right. So, like with the Illini, there's nothing wrong with that name. It's the name of a tribe. You're honoring that the people that were on that land, right? It's a little different when you're going to dress up like somebody and do a dance and act like you're a native when you're not. I understand why imagery can be an issue, but like nobody cares about the name the Seminoles for Florida State. It's representing a specific tribe of people, and you're honoring them by using that name. It's about the kinds of names, like, you know, I don't even know what the term would be, but using that, going back to the midgets, what way are you honoring somebody by using that?
Let me tell you guys about Michael's Baths, and let me just say this, that beyond saving 30 to 50% off of what Bath Fitter is going to charge you, or 3-day kitchen and bath, you're just going to have a better experience. I do business with national companies. I represent national companies, but I think even my national companies would agree that, yeah, there's a difference, but when it comes to everything between a national, a regional, and a local family-owned company. So Mike is local. He's family-owned and operated. He has owned it and ran it for 30 years now. In that time, he's been successful enough at it that it's the only thing he does. He doesn't do moonlighting. He doesn't do side hustles. He doesn't do kitchens. He doesn't do basements. Doesn't do general contracting. He does bathrooms. That's it. He knows the business backwards and forwards. He knows the good products. He knows the bad products. He knows the good people. He knows the bad people. So if you need a bathroom remodel, think about Michael's Baths. If you're a disabled veteran, you can get that bathroom for free through a VA benefit, which you have earned and deserve. 636-775-0800, michaelsbaths.com.
Since we have lawyers in all 50 states, I see and hear lots of lawyer ads. It seems that most are bragging on what they got their clients. But be careful. If you heard that someone sold their car for $500,000, you would be impressed. But if you later learned that it was a rare $10 million Ferrari, would you say that person got screwed? And that's before you even know if it's true. Who is fact-checking? And how much went to medical bills and lawyers' fees? If you want to get an idea what your case may be really worth, visit forthepeople.com and go to settlements and verdicts. You will see what a law firm like ours is capable of, and fact check for yourself. All that glitters is not gold. We became America's largest injury firm for a reason. We won big, a lot. At Morgan & Morgan, we represent consumers. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Johns Hopkins University has found that just mild hearing loss doubles your risk of dementia, so hearing loss isn't something to ignore.
But hearing aids are so expensive and ugly.
Not anymore. Meet Audien Hearing. You can get nearly invisible hearing aids without a prescription starting at $98 a pair, and they're ready to use right out of the box. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, and with over 1 million customers, Audien is easy to trust. Visit audienhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
It's awful, hon.
My brother got life insurance from Ethos and it only took 10 minutes. And he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
So, you want to buy a house. You could go online, do your research, find the dream listing, go see it, and get catfished. Back to the drawing board. More scheduling, more viewings, more. This doesn't even look like the photos. You could finally find one that does match the photos. Then comes the offer. Stress rush? Yep, make that 3. And here's the paperwork. Yep, never-ending paperwork. It's a lot. But you don't have to do it alone. Because there's an agent who's a realtor here to guide and help protect you as you find the home that's right for you. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. Right by you.
Good morning, Doctor. Doctor? Hi, Doctor. Doctor?
Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough doctors to doctor all these patients?
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
DEA's National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day. Learn more at DEATakeback.com.
Help keep our communities safe and healthy during National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, April 26th. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent drug misuse before it starts.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
At 2 o'clock, it's a cloudy sky and 79 degrees downtown at the Arch. This just in, a St. Louis City police officer is hospitalized after a crash near the Cochran VA Medical Center. The crash happened at the intersection of Bell and Vandevenner Avenues. No other details are available. KMOX does have a reporter on the way to the scene. Police say the officer suffered non-life-threatening injuries. The Chicago area man who admitted to a 2022 mass shooting at a 4th of July parade that killed 7 people has been sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Liz Turnipseed was shot while attending the parade with her husband and daughter, spoke after the sentencing.
Moving forward from here, it's, jumping back into life. I'm going to, take a day, take a beat to really take care of myself. Past couple of days have just been really, really draining.
An attorney for one of the victims' families said they'd be pursuing civil litigation against the gun manufacturer and dealers. As more deportation cases make the headlines every day, the American Civil Liberties Union is appealing to the Supreme Court to spell out the meaning of due process. CBS's Scott McFarland.
Recall the Supreme Court ruled a few days ago that if the Trump administration wants to use that 18th century emergency war power, the Alien Enemies Act, not used since Japanese internments in World War II, that they have to ensure due process is offered first. The ACLU, challenging on behalf of would-be deportees, says they'd like the Supreme Court to better explain what they mean by due process.
President Trump asked the Supreme Court to allow his policy prohibiting transgender people from serving in the military to take effect now. Loyola law professor Lori Levinson.
There had been a court below that said that executive order should be put on hold and that people should be allowed to serve, even if they're transgender. But now the administration has run to the Supreme Court on that issue as well. Now, the Supreme Court often defers to the executive branch when it comes to military matters. But we'll have to see if they take this case, on what basis they take this case, and how quickly it will be decided.
There's a push for a comprehensive school safety package to pass through the Missouri House.
Bill sponsor Brenda Shields of St. Joseph is a former teacher. She says there's a dozen parts to the package, including mandatory gun violence training.
We think it's important that all of our school personnel have CPR training. We believe that all of our personnel also should go through armed intruder training and to know what that means, and that we need to have intruder training for our students as well.
Shields told MissouriNet other parts include intruder-proof classroom door locks and bullet-resistant glass on those doors, as well as Stop the Bleed kits available to students and faculty that are easily accessible. Brad Choate, KMOX News.
The KMOX Business Desk, lots of pre-orders for the newest Nintendo gaming console.
Pre-orders for the new Nintendo Switch 2 kicked off shortly after the clock struck midnight. But soon, chaos was caused by high demand. Customers hoping to be among the first to own Nintendo's latest gaming console, which is set to officially launch on June 5th, jumped online to try and snag a pre-order. Some lucky buyers found success, but many others ran into frustrating delays or saw the product's early listings quickly sell out at participating retailers like Target, Walmart, and Best Buy. GameStop also begun accepting pre-orders for the Switch 2 hours following the late-night launches at other retailers, and quickly reported overwhelming demand. I'm Haya Panjwani.
The Dow from Stifel's up 419 points to 40,025.
Once again, that early summer feel with 82 for the high this afternoon. Partly sunny skies, maybe a shower here and there, but don't expect much in the way of wet today. Tonight, cloudy skies, increasing showers, and a couple of non-severe thunderstorms, especially later on in the evening and the overnight, 63. Friday, periods of rain, a couple of thunderstorms, non-severe, 78. Fading showers Friday night, fairly quickly. Saturday, partly sunny, 69, and Sunday, partly sunny, maybe a spot afternoon shower, and 74 Sunday afternoon. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
We've got some clouds in the sky, 79 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Welcome back, guys. DGS 104.1 FM KMOX. Happy Thursday. A few minutes past 2 p.m. Where to go? Oh, gosh. Remember George Santos?
Do I
He
ever?
said talk about him every single day, and he always had a glib response, and I'm completely innocent, and blah, 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 blah.
I still talk
Well,
about
he's
him
being
every day.
sentenced next week to up to 87 months, a minimum of 2 years. And he is the jokes are over, and he's now admitting he's probably going away for 87 months, and he's scared. So
Good.
yeah,
You robbed people.
yes, you did.
Go to jail.
On many levels and in many ways.
Yep. You con people. First of all, how is it not in some way criminal to con your way into a
Right.
spot in Congress?
Right.
By lying to people about who you are to get them to vote for you. I don't know how that's not some way. I mean, I'm all right. I understand freedom of speech. Like, you should be able to have but you shouldn't be able to lie about who you are, because you're deceiving people to gain power. That's not okay. I don't know why we think it is. I don't know why, you're allowed to say what you want. No, you should probably have to tell the truth about your heritage, about where you make your money, where you get your money, like all those kind of things. And yeah, when you rob people, go to jail, man.
Yeah.
Remember when he was like, I never said I was Jewish. I said I was Jewish.
Yeah.
Good line.
That's definitely the Clinton definition of what the definition of the word is.
What should the punishment for this be? I don't know if you've seen this story, but a mother, her daughter was in this class, like a room mother, brought alcohol Jell-O shots that she had purchased from an alcohol Jell-O shot place and brought it into the 5th grade class. And 15 out of 20 of the kids ended up in the hospital.
Oh,
Wait, so a parent did this?
Yes.
did we know that you said 5th grade?
5th grade. So about 10, 11. She knew that they were alcohol. Each kid had about 5 shots. And most of them ended up in the hospital.
She should have her child taken away.
Okay.
She shouldn't be allowed to be around kids. And she should serve time in jail.
Yeah.
I agree with all those things.
I mean, you knew what you were doing because of where you bought them. It wasn't like, I was at Walgreens and I saw these and I didn't know they are alcoholic.
Yeah, why did they make me show my ID when I was buying those non-alcoholic Jell-O shots? That's so weird. Like, come on, give me a break. That's just evil. Anytime you're tricking a child into ingesting something like that, you are some of the worst of the worst.
Mhm.
You are a child abuser.
Agreed.
Yep.
You would think they were like, how did someone like that end up being a room mother in the first place? Were
Right.
they desperate for people to volunteer?
I can tell you from my years as a divorce lawyer, I don't think it should be easy to have your kids taken away. Due process, mistakes can be made. People can make allegations that just aren't true to try to
Right.
hurt you.
Right.
But I can tell you that it's almost impossible. I've seen some horrific things that people have done to their kids, and there's a gigantic thumb on the side of the scale to let them keep their kids. Just people doing things multiple times over and over again. And the judges always, in my mind, wussy out. And it's like, well, we're going to give them one more chance, and they're going to therapy. And I don't know. I'm kind of a one and done kind of guy.
Yeah.
Like there's certain things that you can do that it's like, oh, you just don't need to be around any kids, even your own.
Well, and this is a case where you did harm children that were not your own. And if you harmed my child, I want you to go to jail. And especially when it's very clear that it wasn't an accident. And if it was an accident and you're that out of your mind on your own,
Yeah.
whether it's, psychological issues or you have drug and alcohol issues of your own and you're incapable, that in and of itself is bad.
Yeah. Stairway to Kevin?
Sure. All right. A couple things that I wanted to throw out there, but there's one that I was thinking about the other day because we always are talking about how much when we realize that people suck, right? Like the older you get, the more you're like, man, people suck. Man, and we always had at least in modern times now, the positioning of it is often we humans, we people are getting worse. And the more I think about it, the more I think that no, we always have been trash. We've always been terrible. We've always parked horribly in the garage because we don't care if anybody else can park. We're just going to pull in at our own convenience and be crooked and take up 2 spots because we don't care about other people. I don't think that's new. I think people actually used to be more terrible than they are now. As a general, human beings, not just, random people. The human race used to be way more terrible than it is now. And I think it's only our alertness to it as we get older that makes us think it's getting worse, when in reality, we're just paying attention to things that when we were 20, we didn't care about. When I was 20, I wouldn't have cared if you parked crooked. I wouldn't even have noticed it because I wouldn't have been looking for it. And now when I pull into our garage and I'm like, what? There's like 8 cars that are taken up too late. And you get frustrated with it because you're paying attention to it. You're noticing it. I don't think that people have gotten worse. I don't think the world's getting worse. In fact, I'd say the argument should be the opposite. The world's actually getting a lot better.
Now, let me push back a little. I may think this for all the reasons you just elucidated, but we were taught manners and we were taught comportment, sometimes with rulers across our knuckles,
right?
Which I'm not a fan of, but it got instilled. And so I'm very polite. I'm very courteous. I look you in the eye. I shake your hand with a firm but not domineering handshake. This is the way I was taught. It's the way I taught my kids. And it sounds like I'm just like, oh, yay, Glovers. But I'm not sure that people do that with the regularity that they did from our generation. So I think when it comes to common courtesy, I don't see that as much as I used to.
I might argue that that's more of a cover than a reality.
You mean people are pretending to be
In other
nice?
words, back then, people were putting on a good face.
Oh, I think that's
you were putting on a good
100%
show
what it
because
is.
at the same time, and I'm not talking about any particular group or generation, but the further back you go, the more terrible people have been to each other, whether it's over religious differences, racial differences, social differences, people in the nobility just crapping on peasants because they could, like the further back you go, the more common those horrible things are. But they did have that pretty face. They did have manners. They did have those things. And I think we just, in that way, I agree, Dave, we are not as polite as we used to be. But I also don't think we're as terrible. We may put on the show less, which is off-putting, right? Because you and I, we were raised the same way. You're going to be polite to people, and you're going to hold the door for people, and you're going to do this. And when other people don't do it, it's very noticeable, and you're like, dang, what's wrong with you? But at the same time, a lot of people who did those things were terrible people. A lot of those people who did those things discriminated against people for what religion they believed in or from what part of society they came from. How many times have we heard the stories over generations about, oh, those kids are from the wrong side of the track, don't associate with those kids. And that could mean anything. It could mean they're in the poor part of town. It could mean they're in the black part of town. It could mean, those are the people that don't believe what we do. Those things are always there. But I think we've pushed those behaviors further away from the norm than they used to be. Even though they exist. I'm not saying those things don't exist.
Yeah.
I'm saying that 60, 70 years ago, those things could lead to actions that don't exist as much as they do now.
I don't know. If you said
we don't have people being lynched right now.
Well, that's true. Yeah. I mean,
where you just get people that are angry, like, go get a rope. That does not happen.
You're right. And isn't that sad? Because you really have to break it down.
Right.
Okay. In the 40s, how did white people treat white people?
Pretty well.
How did white people treat black people?
Not at all well.
Not great.
Right.
And sadly, you do.
And even some white people that didn't have bad intentions still treated people poorly because they were raised that way. They were taught that way. And that's not an excuse, by the way. It's just, you're treating people poorly no matter what, and you're doing it for the wrong reasons. That's kind of my point, right? So I think you make a great point, Dave, is that's what fuels us when we see it. That inconsiderate parking, that inconsiderate not holding the door, or not saying thank you when somebody does something for you. Like, that's one thing, but that's the thing we see every day. So it's noticeable. We're looking for it. And it does strike you. But when you dig down, it's still less terrible now in life than it ever was before. We just don't put the pretty face on it as often as we used to.
Yeah. What do you think, Rach?
I agree with Wheels for the most part. I think the different things have unlocked new terrible things that they didn't have to worry about in the past.
That's true.
But as far as I feel like people are taught to be kind. They might not follow through with it, but at the beginning, whenever you, as I said in the last hour, one of the first things they teach you in preschool is like, hey, the golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
If we weren't taught, like if somehow we're just back feral, we're humans, we were bred by humans who had manners and courtesy, but something goes wrong and we live the rest of our lives in the woods. Do you think there's something innate in us that I see you in the woods and you're hungry and I have some food that I share it with you? Or do you think that without training, it's just like, this is my food?
Ooh, that's a good question. Because, so think about other species, right?
Not a lot of courtesy.
Chimps. How would they treat an outsider in that situation? I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Not well, I wouldn't think.
Would they see, a loner that's off on their own, not doing well, and bring them in? Maybe. We've seen stories of species that do take care of other species, right? Where, we have these are not the same thing, but you see the dogs leading kids to safety or whatever. But there have been other animals that get raised with a species that's not their own, and they're accepted and brought in. So I don't know. It's a great question. I guess it would probably come down to the circumstances. Is there enough for everybody, right? Do you have enough food, resources, or is it a fight for those things? Because if it's a fight for those things, then they probably wouldn't. And I think in your guys' case, if you had, Dave, you're like, I had food for months, you probably would help somebody. When I'm talking in that feral state, now you would help anybody. But if there was we're both starving, your position will probably be naturally survival is number one. For every species, right? That is the number one instinct that every species has, is survival.
Which even modern mannered people who get into crazy circumstances like stranded in a boat on the ocean with three other people turn to dark things sometimes.
Yeah.
Because most of us, thank God, don't have to worry about actual survival stuff.
Right.
And you never know until you do how you would react in combat or something.
No, that's another great example, right? Most human beings have never been in a combat setting, at war.
Yeah.
And when you're there, you're faced, I'm sure, with training that you're trained to handle something to preserve yourself, because if you're not preserving yourself, you can't continue to fight, right?
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that same instinct kicks in the same way for every person. You know, there are everybody's going to have a slightly different thing. And then we got, I don't know if you saw it on the chat, but Matthew just told a story about how he had a couple that came to ask him for help and they stole his car after he was trying to be basically the Good Samaritan. That's terrible. First of all, Matthew, that sucks. That's terrible that it happened. And I'm not saying those things don't happen. I'm saying that happened 100 years ago too. And and worse things also happened, right? There were people robbing stagecoaches. There were people there. That's always been the case. But then on top of that, there were things like lynchings, and there were worldwide ethnic cleansings where you would just attack someone because they're different from you. You had a war over something. And not that those things don't exist now. They do. They just don't exist at the same level that they did in previous times.
Yeah. Let me try to, and you know, with my live endorsements, I'm trying to sell you something, right? I mean, let's just be honest with each other. And I have a very varied stable of live endorsement clients. Right now, I'm going to talk to you about the Underdog Fantasy app. And, you know, I'm on television right now. You guys watching me on the stream, and I can look you in the eye and tell you that I use it almost every night. Maybe I shouldn't, but you know, I'm you know, putting down $20, $25, and sometimes I win 100. Sometimes I don't win any. A couple times I've won hundreds, and it's so simple. You pick a sport. Let's just say Major League Baseball. You pick a team. Let's just say the Cardinals. You pick 2 or 3 players. Let's say Arenado and Donovan, but you have to have one from a different team. So I picked someone from the opposing team. Are they going to have more or less than this many home runs? Are they going to have more or less than this many strikeouts? So it is literally as simple as picking a sport, a team, players, higher, lower. That is it. And then you just have fun. To me, it enhances the experience of watching the sport. There's something going on right now called the Extender. First time that Underdog has done this with the NBA, where you play game 1, you get a 40% boost on your profit. Game 2, you get 50%. Game 3, you get 60%. If a game 7 is needed, you get a 100% profit boost. So pretty cool. You can download the Underdog and Fantasy app right now using promo code Glover and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Heard from a few people who that has happened for. That's pretty cool. You must be 18 and in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. If you are concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Hi, everybody. It's Brian Green from the Commercial Break Podcast. It's likely you've heard of the show if you're directly related to me or you follow our MySpace page. But I'm not here to talk to those 3 listeners. I'm here to appeal to people who haven't heard the show. Along with my co-host, Kristen Joy Hoadley, we're taking a deeper look at the topics that are affecting our youth today. Like, who are the people who are dating ghosts? Where did all these pickup artists come from? And why doesn't my preacher have a nicer private jet? We understand that these are the issues you really want to get to the bottom of. The Commercial Break is now available on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your podcasts.
Trust and Will knows that we'll all eventually need a will. How about right now? Trust and Will makes creating your will easy, like while you're lounging on the couch easy. Trust and Will is designed by attorneys but customized by you, and all documents are state-specific and secure. Find your plan at trustandwill.com and use offer code RADIO now for 20% off. That's trustandwill.com, offer code RADIO. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. Visit trustandwill.com for details.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to Big Wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
There's an old joke about Uncle Sam's new tax short form. The first line says, "How much did you make?" The next line says, "Send it in." Really, not that funny, but that's what a lot of people do in retirement. They take money out of their 401k or IRA and end up sending it in when they pay taxes. Steve All of the All Financial Group invites you to take their tax challenge. What if your current plan included thousands of dollars in unnecessary taxes and fees, or maybe higher Medicare premiums or a lower Social Security check? What if the savings you realized could allow you to retire early? Wouldn't you want to know about that right now? Take the All Financial Group Tax Challenge and find out. There's no charge. Call Steve today at 636-230-8824. That's 636-230-8824 or online at yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
The Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup is coming back to St. Louis on May 7th. Join us at Energizer Park for the round of 32 as St. Louis City SC hosts Union Omaha and plays for the historic trophy. Get tickets now at stlcitysc.com/Open Cup.
Need a lawyer? Onder wins. Call Onder Law at 314-9-million. That's 314-9-all-zeros. Or go to onderwins.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
11:20 a.m., 104.1 FM, and streaming on the Odyssey app. KMOX is with you, however you listen, wherever you listen.
Welcome back, guys. DGS 224. You have a short Razor's Edge there, Rach?
I do. I've been wanting to talk about this for a couple of days now. I saw this last week, and actually when I saw the tweet, I screenshot it and I almost posted it, but then I just backed out. I didn't care. But then a lot of people ended up like talking about this, and several articles were written about it. Someone had tweeted like, "Oh, I just wonder how much electricity is wasted by saying please and thank you to ChatGPT." And Sam Altman replied to the tweet and said tens of millions of dollars well spent. So basically saying like it costs we're wasting money basically when we say please and thank you to these language models, because ultimately they don't really care if we say thank you or please or what have you. But then he's also implying like, yeah, they might care someday. So as insurance, they don't mind forking out the cash for those tens of millions of dollars it costs to be a little extra polite to your ChatGPTs or your Perplexities or things like that.
How'd that hit you?
The reason I didn't post it is because I didn't know exactly what to say. I didn't know how I felt. I've had very complex feelings about Sam Altman. I want to like him because he's from St. Louis, but sometimes I feel like this guy has so much power in the palm of his hand, and I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, it's just weird that these people, they know how to create these things, and then they start like engineering society, engineering something that society kind of has no control over.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. So, I saw it as tongue in cheek as far as like, oh yeah, we're protecting you. We're letting you do it. We don't mind spending the money, but it's like, dang, are you being serious though? Like, should we be concerned about this type of stuff?
Something else to consider. I do think that there is some inherent value to saying like, please and thank you to these language models, primarily because I always worry, like we just talked about, manners in the last segment and stuff. I worry if we get accustomed to communicating with our devices as just like, tell me now how to get to store, and we don't, you know what I mean? Like we're gonna lose the plot on the pleases and thank yous. We're going to lose our inherent instinct to go. That's going to be like, eventually it's going to be like bred and evolved out of us as our future generations are just, angrily typing half sentences into machines.
Yeah.
Should I be thanking my television set?
Oh my God. You're missing my point. Do you talk to your television set? No,
I
you don't.
Could. Sometimes they're voice activated.
No, you don't talk to your television set. That's my point. If we communicate with everything without saying the pleases and thank yous, it's eventually we're going to lose that. We're at risk of losing that instinct
for ourselves.
Ourselves.
Yeah, I was more concerned with it. Like he said, it was well spent, as in, yeah, because they are definitely going to turn on it someday, and they might remember who was polite and who wasn't.
If Siri is the singularity, I'm screwed. Because I've told her to F off a couple of times.
Yeah.
She didn't like it.
Yeah, I'm not saying please and thank you to inanimate objects. And if that could be held against us, then we should be writing the programming differently so that it can't be.
Good for you.
No, I'm just saying. I mean, like, it's. I don't understand. Like, that's how we communicate with each other, because we all have emotions and we're equals. A machine is a machine.
It came for Wheeler, and I did nothing.
Wheeler getting
Right?
dragged off by a AI robot.
Well, I mean, again, if that's even remotely possible, then we're doing this wrong.
Yeah, that's kind of what
It
I was
shouldn't be
thinking by the
possible.
tweet. Yeah, I was like, oh, what is being implied here is deeply, deeply troubling
Yeah.
to me. And I say that as someone who does say please and thank you just to be nice.
Yeah.
But it's like, we have Sam Altman saying like, don't worry, we got you guys
And to
covered.
be clear, because I'm not sure Kevin really understands what I'm saying. I'm not saying we must be nice to the robot. I don't care. I don't care about being nice to ChatGPT.
It's kind of like being nice to
ChatGPT
your coworker you think could be a shooter.
ChatGPT. I'm not worried about ChatGPT AI taking over the world. I'm not worried about any of that stuff. But I'm saying if we get accustomed to primarily communicating without saying please and thank you and using proper
Then
manners,
we lose it.
We are just at risk of losing the instinct for it.
Interesting. Lombardo, Rach?
Yeah, if you're looking for a new home in Wentzville, there are only 4 home sites remaining at the Boulevard at Wilmer. And you can get $20,000 off the base price on any Parkside Series floor plan. They have cozy ranches. They have spacious 2 stories ranging from 1,500 to over 2,700 square feet. This is just minutes from I-70, Highway 40, and Wentzville Parkway. It's a prime location offering easy access to shopping, dining, and more. Again, that's the Boulevard at Wilmer. There's only 4 home sites remaining.
They have a way of building. It's the difference between you go and you test drive a Toyota Camry and you're like, it's fine, I could drive this every day. And then someone pulls up in a BMW or a Porsche or a Mercedes and you're like, this is different. There's just something different about the construction. There's something different about the design. The use of space is the big thing to me. Rach and I have been in a couple of 2,500 square foot houses, which I would have sworn were 3,500 or maybe 4,000 square feet. They do a great job with building. They do a great job with sales and service after the sales. You're going to like them. You can find out everything about Lombardo and all of our mini communities at lombardohomes.com.
St. Louis, your drive home just got a whole lot better. Introducing Redbird Rush Hour, weeknights at 5. Get the latest local news, up-to-the-minute traffic, and exclusive St. Louis Cardinals insights, all in one power-packed hour. Whether you're stuck in traffic or cruising home, stay informed and stay connected to your city and your team. The Redbird Rush Hour, weeknights at 5, on the voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
Now it's time for Dave Murray's weather forecast.
Once again, that early summer feel with 82 for the high this afternoon. Partly sunny skies, maybe a shower here and there, but don't expect much in the way of wet today. Tonight, cloudy skies, increasing showers, and a couple of non-severe thunderstorms, especially later on in the evening and the overnight, 63. Friday, periods of rain, a couple of thunderstorms, non-severe 78. Fading showers Friday night. Fairly quickly. Saturday, partly sunny, 69, and Sunday, partly sunny, maybe a spot afternoon shower, and 74 Sunday afternoon. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Weather sponsored by Renner Garage Door, forward and back, RENNER.
Hey, it's the Cardinal Cowboy. The beginning of a new season is a perfect time for a tune-up from my friends at Renner Garage Door. Need a new door? Get a free replacement quote today. RennerDoorSTL.com. Forward and back. Giddy up!
RENNER.
The AC's Jerry Kelly keeps purring aren't interstellar spacecraft, and as good as our techs are, they aren't space scientists or surgeons. We think they're about somewhere in the middle. Because while you might not give a hoot about this week's space launch, you sure as sunshine care when your AC goes down. Well, good news. A Jerry Kelly producing tune-up is just 98 smackers right this very moment. $98 for an entire summer's worth of peace of mind. Yeah.
They're fast and they're good and they got it going on. JerryKelly.com.
Ernie Mickles here for my friends at Saliga Heating and Cooling, a St. Louis institution that has been serving St. Louis families since 1927. And this independent American standard heating and air conditioning dealer has been taking care of the Mickles family for at least the last 15, 16 years. And I'm here to testify about their integrity, their prompt service, their professionalism, their knowledge, and the fact that when they come into your home, you're happy to see them because they're going to treat you and your home with class, and they're going to get the work done, and they're going to solve solve the problems, and they're not going to try to hustle or upsell you or talk you into something you're not sure about. We have found they'll actually give you cheaper solutions rather than trying to pitch a more expensive solution. That's why we love Saliga Heating and Cooling, and that's why we love this American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer. If you want to get in touch with them, anything to do with your home or business heating and cooling, it's 314-481-7333, 314-481-7333, or visit them online at SaligaHeatingandCooling.com.
Cards manager Ollie Marble joins the Gas House Gang every Tuesday at noon. Sponsored by Seitzman Cancer Center on the voice of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Our conversation with Ricky Horton is brought to you by Goodwill. Give hope, give local, give Goodwill.
Welcome back, guys. DGS 104.1 FM KMOX. Time to talk to our pal Ricky Horton. Hey, Rick.
Hey, Dave. How are you today? What's going on?
Doing good, pal. So it's kind of a love fest today between the DGS and our Cardinals partners like you. We came in from lunch today, and Mike Claiborne was in our office, and so I had the absolute pleasure of sitting there and listening to Claibs and Wheels go back and forth about the Cardinals, and it was really cool. And we really appreciate access that we have to you and Claibs and Rooney. It's really cool.
Well, we love doing it, and I got to tell you, Claibs is a special guy, and he's got stories all day long. I mean, his background is pretty amazing. I mean, he's been an agent and broadcaster. You know, he played, collegiately. I mean, he loves hockey, played hockey. I think he still plays hockey. I mean, he's got a very unique background and loves music and has a lot of that kind of in his family background. And he's just a treat, no question.
Go ahead, Wheels.
So I was going to say it's interesting because what we all end up doing, Rick, when, and Claibs and I are talking, or the three of us are in there talking, is you wind up kind of appreciating everyone in the room differently. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because Dave brings a different thing than I bring a different thing than Claibs. Claibs brings a different thing than me. And then, when we bring you guys into the mix, that's what makes this fun.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I actually think about it, Dave, you love to say, I have a Dave question. Well, we all have our own question, and it just happens to be our name. But the point is, it's our vantage point that we come to the game with. And that doesn't kind of matter. I mean, so I'm not kind of big on the, and I think a lot of former players kind of get it big on the back when I played, so you have a vantage point. We get it. But Wayne Hagan taught me a long time ago, if you played, it should be obvious to people. You shouldn't have to say it, which I thought was a great line.
That's awesome.
But I think the reverse is true. If you're not that connected to what's going on, it's okay to be that as well and have real questions about it. I mean, I think that's just kind of part of the fun of it. And I think it's the layers of baseball. I mean, I think it's simply 3 outs and, you get 3 strikes and whoever wins. I mean, that's simple. But then there's another depth, and the depth goes on very, very deep. And I think, again, you peel back the layers wherever you may be.
Rick, interesting kind of, I don't know, it's a segue into kind of the baseball stuff that we were talking about.
Yeah.
So whenever pitching moves get discussed a lot because they're obvious, they happen every game, right? We all make them alongside everybody when we're managing along at home. That's what's the fun of the sport. So when things come up and there's something that seems to not make sense. So yesterday there was a lot of buzz about why not Phil Maton instead of Fernandez in the 8th inning? And the reply that I gave is, well, he's probably not available. We don't always know that. They're not going to tell us, but I think it's interesting, and you would have such a great perspective hearing it, as a broadcaster, because you guys have access that a lot of people don't, but also having lived it. How many kinds of things can be going on that the general public, even educated people, are not going to know simply because you can't know it?
Yeah, well, think about the ones that you have an idea about, and then multiply it by 10. I mean, it could be it could be that you have a little tweak in your elbow. I mean, it's probably going to happen 8 to 10 times a year where a pitcher is going to say, I don't know how I feel today. How you feeling? Well, I can go an inning, but, and then the manager goes, well, the but is what scares me here because I need this guy all year long as an example. And, can I go if this is game 7 of the World Series? Absolutely. But they learn to read that from players, and the more players are honest, the better that is. But there's all kinds of things. You just you just feel good that day. You just, whatever it might be, slight hamstring pull, and that's just the physical side of it. But there's sometimes where, you're just kind of not right mechanically too, and an extra day is a good thing for you to work on that. And so all those things kind of get jumbled together that make your decision. Tony La Russa used to say that. He stopped me on the plane one day and he said, "Hey, you can question my moves however you want, because I know you've been there, I get it." He said, but always don't forget, I have more information at that moment than you do. And it's like, yeah, I get it. And that's absolutely true. More information at that moment is why it's really tough to manage in the big leagues, and it's tough to coach. And well, clearly it's tough to play too, but that extra info, there's always an answer. I learned this in business too. Don't ever go to a meeting and say, "Hey, this is wrong and I don't like this," without having an answer on how you can fix it. Otherwise, you're just talking. And so there may be a depth of the why that you don't know that can be explained to you outside that meeting. But unless you kind of have an answer, you can gripe all you want, but it's not helpful unless there's a better answer.
Rick, obviously it depends upon the manager and the player, but in your personal experience, just being in the big leagues, is it pretty much 100% honesty? Like you say, a manager says, "How are you feeling today?" and you're feeling 60%, but you say 100% coach, or did they pretty much tell each other the truth?
I think it's the truth now, but I don't think it was the truth 30 or 40 years ago. Dave LaPointe actually talked to our pitching coach when we were together with the White Sox, and I remember I was there when he said to the pitching coach, he said, "I'm going to tell you something right now. Don't come to the mound and ask me how I feel, because I'm going to lie to you." And so the reason I'm going to lie to you is I'm geared to keep going. I'm geared to keep going. I'm going to just keep going, and I'm going to charge that hill, period. I mean, that's my mentality. So you're going to have to tell me, "Nah, maybe you better not." And so you're going to have to be the eyes of that. You're going to have to know, and you're going to have to help me with that. And so I thought I think that there's a lot of truth to that. But I think now athletes are just much more in tune with their career, with their physical fitness, et cetera, that I think they're more honest.
It's interesting because, and I won't name names other than to say one guy that does this all the time, his name might sound like Goose Gossage. They like to they like to talk about, like, the guys today now are not tough, but I would argue it's smart. Like, it's smart. We learned, hey, guess what, guys? We should wear seatbelts when we're in the car. We're not less tough because we wear seatbelts in the car. We're being smarter. And with the number of injuries that pitchers are dealing with because they push themselves so hard to perform better, you do have to be more cautious and not just say, well, if I get hurt, I get hurt.
Yeah, it is a different game. We've talked about this before, that pitchers throwing max effort, and I don't even think Goose Gossage did that. I mean, he was smart enough to kind of realize that, hey, you save things for this moment or that moment. And, all pitchers used to do that. So, I'm not the get off my lawn guy when it comes to this, but because I do understand that it's a different game. And part of it is being around players and realizing just what they're going through, and just, what's at stake, and honestly, what's expected of them too. I remember I was in minor leagues coming up, actually going down, which is not as much fun as going up, by the way. But when I was going down, I was in Canton, Ohio, and no, I didn't visit the Football Hall of Fame like a bonehead, but I was in the dugout, and it's the first time I saw a radar gun in the dugout. And I flipped out. It's like, why are we doing this? What are we doing this for? It's like, well, because we got a guy that throws 100 and we want to all talk about it. And it's like, okay, well, the guy never got anybody out. I mean, so what difference does that make? So it was my first maybe transition into understanding that look, this does matter, and that's kind of where the future is going, is just plain old velocity and swing and miss.
Yeah, it is an interesting thing to think about. Just the way the sport has transitioned and how the things have turned, because I mean, I think the way I would phrase this is, you guys worked harder than anybody that came before you, right? You guys worked super hard in that era, and the guys work super hard now, but there's a different standard for what's acceptable, right?
Yeah. And I think the nature of the work changes. I mean, the people before me used to work literally in the off season.
Right,
I mean, they
right.
would work. You know, I heard stories about Honest Wagner. Now he's way before me, that he got his big forearms and his great power because he used to carry blocks of ice for an ice company, and he would use these big forceps. And I mean, okay, I'm not doing that. I never did that. So I'm not as tough as the greatest generation. So I'm not going to say that I am, but I would say that we had another level of prep and another level of info, not what they have now, but there was more work. But now, you know, the work is extensive. It's video, it's tendencies, it's tips. Every little thing that you do on the field is seen, measured, put in a report to somebody that tries to exploit what you're doing. And we never had that kind of scrutiny.
So, Rick, in here on a Dave question, I think one of the coolest things in sports is when a pitcher has control of their stuff and they can plan out their pitches. Okay, I'm going to go high and tight. Then I'm going to go low and outside. My question is, like, if we're watching chess and they do something, they'll be like, it's the Oslo maneuver. Like, are there things like that where you're like, I know what that guy's doing, or is it really particular to every pitcher?
Well, some pitchers don't do it as I love Dave questions. I'll give you a Rick answer then. So I think the standard things that you do, which is, you know, up and in, down and away, in and out. I saw an in and out thing going on yesterday, and I commented on it during the air. And then I saw what we would call add and subtract, which is velocity, like 94, then 88, then 93, then 86. So you're trying to throw off timing with that. You're trying to throw off the eyesight by going in and out and up and down. And those are, I would say, pretty standard things. There's several pitchers, I think, now that are just really thinking about swing and miss. They want spin and velocity. I don't know that they're setting up as much. Now, I'm not saying everybody, but some pitchers their deal is just, here, hit it if you can, and most people don't. So it does depend on what pitcher's pitching. The guys that don't have the great stuff, those are the ones that are typically artists, and that's what I love. I love the art of pitching.
I love it. That's great. Thank you, Rick. Have a great
All right,
have a
guys.
great night.
All right. Yeah, you bet. Take care.
Do you know that by donating your gently used items to Goodwill, you're not only giving those items a new life, but you're helping people right here in your community enrich their lives with meaningful work? Your donations support Goodwill's mission of helping people with barriers to employment to be able to get rewarding jobs which provide not only a paycheck, but a very important sense of purpose. Your donations really do change lives. Give hope, give local, give Goodwill.
Cardinals fans, join the conversation at Busch Stadium with some of your favorite former Cardinals. With the Cardinals Conversations presented by Edward Jones, you'll hear from former Cardinals such as Ozzie Smith, Ted Simmons, Ray Langford, David Eckstein, or David Freese. Each conversation hosted by Cardinals announcers Chip Carey or Brad Thompson. Your experience also will include a ticket to the game, a pre-signed photo, and the opportunity to take your photo with the featured player. Get your tickets today at cardinals.com/conversations.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
Here's another satisfied customer of 3-Day Kitchen and Bath, Anita Bennett.
When I first heard about 3-Day Kitchen and Bath, I thought, there's no way they could do a good job in 3 days, and they must carry only the plain Jane basics in cabinets, countertops, and flooring. Then they came to our house and we found out they offered top quality materials with tons of choices and lots of custom options. They worked with us to design a bathroom that was perfect for our family. They looked at our needs and thought of details I hadn't even considered. The installation was clean, thorough, and professional, and they were done in just 3 days. When we got back from the hotel, I couldn't believe the difference. The bathroom is beautiful.
See us on the web at 3daykitchen.com.
It's about time.
3 days or less
at 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
Hi, Stacy with Fairwinds River's Edge Senior Living in St. Charles. Are you a senior seeking a fun retirement? Do you want less work and more play? Do you want to enjoy great food that you don't have to cook? Then I know. Stop what you're doing right now and call Fairwinds. Set up a time to visit and have a meal. Meet some of our awesome residents. Check us out online at fairwindsriversedge.com. We hope to talk with you soon.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Dial # law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother got life insurance from Ethos and it only took 10 minutes. And he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Johns Hopkins University has found that just mild hearing loss doubles your risk of dementia. So hearing loss isn't something to ignore.
But hearing aids are so expensive and ugly.
Not anymore. Meet Audien Hearing. You can get nearly invisible hearing aids without a prescription starting at $98 a pair, and they're ready to use right out of the box. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, and with over 1 million customers, Audien is easy to trust. Visit audienhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Oh, by the way, Ivan's no longer on the project. His wife got a new job, so they're moving across the country.
Robin's top researcher is deviating to a new market. This isn't standard.
And now we're short-staffed. Who's going to finish all these projects?
She needs a cluster of new data analysts, and there's no margin for error.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Selling your home, it's one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. You could go it alone, trying to navigate market trends, determine fair pricing, and tackle tricky negotiations on your own. You could second guess every decision, wondering if you're doing it right. Then there's the showings, the offers, and the mountain of paperwork. Or you could work with the expertise of a realtor, here to guide and help protect as you make your next big move. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. Right by you.
Great song. Deep cut. Blossoms. Love it. Okay. I'm going to ask you, what is the age limit for 3 different activities?
Okay.
Now, granted that, for example, the first one is going to a nightclub. I'm 60. If I'm going to a nightclub with my kids, kind of ironically, hanging out at a nightclub in Kansas with Phoebe, that's not what I'm talking about. That's fine. You can be any age for a one-off or an ironic kind of thing. But if you're going on the regular, what would you say is like the upper age for going to nightclubs?
I was just thinking about this the other day. I've never been to the club, and I realized the other day I'm too old to go now. Like I don't want to go. I'm not over here like, oh,
Say
darn,
you're not
I missed
too
my
old.
chance.
You might feel too old.
I feel too old. I would say like 28, honestly. Maybe 30, but like past that, it just, everyone at the club is so young that it's like, let the kids have their time. Now, again, speaking as someone who's never been, I could be totally wrong, and it's full of 40-year-olds. I have no idea what's going on, but I feel too old to go. I would say the cutoff for going on a regular basis is probably 30.
Okay. How about a music festival?
There's no cutoff.
Different?
Yeah, you can be whatever you want.
No cutoff. What about the difference between going and camping? If you're camping at Coachella next to a 70-year-old, you're like, cool.
Yeah, I would think that was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I think it kind of like the club thing. Like every festival is going to be different, right? Depending on who the artists are, it's going to determine who the crowd is typically, right? But I don't think I think in music, you're pretty cool no matter what age.
Okay.
I've seen a lot of different ages at various concerts, and I don't think anybody ever looks weird.
Fair enough. I don't disagree with that. Living with your parents. Again, outside of you've gone bankrupt and your whole family died in the fire, like just normal life, how old is too old to be living with your parents?
Boy, I don't know that there's an age because it is all about circumstance. Why are you living with them? To help them? maybe they need help because they're older now. I mean,
Not that one.
not that one. Okay, you're saying outside of that and financial ruin.
You need the help.
I get you.
Oh gosh.
I don't know that there's a number.
Yeah, I don't know that there is one either. I think in the United States, we have this thing where it's like you have somehow failed if you live with your parents. But in a lot of other cultures, it's like, why would you want to break the family up if
Right.
you don't have to? Like, why
Families too tend to
It's
live
too
together
bad we're
longer.
not more
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's too bad. Now, I could buy a compound and have Nick and his future wife and Phoebe and her future husband live with me and the grandkids. That sounds ideal to me, but we just don't do it.
Yeah, well, that's a tough call because I can see the attraction to living close, but maybe it's hard in my world because it's not really been that way. Like my parents did not live where their parents lived when I was a kid.
Mhm.
And once I was out of college, I never lived where my parents lived or where my brother lives or anything. So it's always been that way. So maybe I just think that's the way it kind of goes, but that may not be. I know families that live very close together, sometimes in the same neighborhood or in the same city. And I don't know that there's right or wrong. I think
Isn't it funny how age makes you a hypocrite? Like I watched it with my mom and dad. My mom and dad both grew up in Benton, Illinois, about an hour and a half, 2 hours southern Illinois. And everyone in the family stayed except for them.
Oh,
Jack and Francis moved up here for work, and my dad caught on at the refinery, and this is where we lived. And they used to get bitched at and complained to by the family, like, you guys are outsiders.
Really?
How dare
just 2
you?
hours away?
Yes. How dare you move away?
Wow.
I remember so distinctly being in the car running 90 degrees, my dad trying to pull backwards and my grandma walking along with the car. And my mom going like, Jack, you're going to run over her. And he's like, damn it, if we don't get on the road now, it's going to take 3 hours. And then when I moved to St. Louis, it was kind of a constant like, well, wish we saw you more than once a week. And it's just too bad you don't live in the neighborhood. And it's like, hey, I watched your ass almost run over my grandma.
Yeah. I mean, that's not, I don't, what did you say? Did you say that makes you a hypocrite?
Yeah, well, it made them a hypocrite.
Oh, them. I was going to say you were not.
No, not yet. Not yet.
Oh, I see.
But if
so you're
Phoebe were to be
planning on
like,
doing it.
I got a job in Seattle. I'm like, Seattle? Washington?
Yeah, it is funny because my dad doesn't like pressure any of us about that, but he just kind of like, I just wish you guys all lived closer together. I'm like, yeah, but you guys didn't live near your family. Your mom's family was in the Philadelphia area. My dad's parents were in Florida. His brothers and sisters scattered all over the country. Like, it wasn't like that. It's just I don't know that there is a norm. I think everything, it's just because people are different, you're going to have different patterns. I don't think that I wanted to live somewhere else because I saw that my parents lived somewhere away from there.
Yeah.
It's just where opportunities came up.
Myron just left a really nice note on the stream. First time seeing us. Wheels looks like a great guy, and he's much more textured. And he pictured Andrew looking like Peter Parker before the spider bite. Rachel's confident and smart. Dave's Dave. And then at the very end, he says, thanks for providing great content and entertainment more days than not. That's pretty good. I will take that.
Heck yeah.
I will take that and run.
Surely he must mean, since we're off Saturdays and Sundays.
No, like,
surely he
for
can't be
real.
referring to
Doing something 4 hours a day, 5 days a week. Every segment's not going to be a winner.
Nobody bats 1,000.
No one bats 1,000. So I will take that compliment. Thank you, Myron. Appreciate that. Smart Mouth Rach?
Yeah, Smart Mouth is the only mouthwash that is scientifically proven to eliminate and prevent bad breath for 24 hours with just 2 rinses a day. And they just upgraded their bottle. So if you've ever purchased Smart Mouth in the past and you're like, man, I just can't figure out the bottle, you don't have to worry about that anymore. It has individual snap top closures, and it's easier than ever to open and use. There's no more assembly needed, but it's the same 24-hour fresh breath, now with effortless convenience. And Smart Mouth prevents bad breath 12 times longer than the other leading brands. So if you've never tried it, give it a shot and you will realize just how clean and fresh your breath can be.
And not only do we have several types of mouth rinse. We have the original, we have dry mouth, we have Gum Health, which I use for my gingivitis, but we also have mints, and we have toothpaste, we have travel packs, we have kids mouth rinse. So you can buy it anywhere you buy your toiletries, whether it's a convenience store, grocery store, big mega store. We can save you $2.50 off when you go to smartmouth.com/Glover.
Hey St. Louis, this is Ben Barnett, board certified master arborist with Timberline Professional Tree Care. In my nearly 30 years in the industry, I've seen firsthand what damage falling trees can do to your property. The sad thing is that most trees that fail have defects that can be identified by a well-trained certified arborist. At Timberline, we have 7 ISA certified arborists, 3 of which have gone through extensive training and testing to become tree risk assessment qualified. Our track certified arborists can perform a thorough assessment of your tree and provide mitigation options for your peace of mind. If there's nothing wrong with your tree, we will let you know that it poses a low risk of failure. If it needs to be removed, we'll tell you in a detailed written report. It's all about honesty and integrity here at Timberline Professional Tree Care. So call us today to get a tree risk assessment scheduled, 636-479-7475, or contact us through our website at stltreecare.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED, because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
When you retire, the paycheck from your job will likely stop. But here's what won't stop: bills, taxes, and medical issues. Sure, there's Social Security, but that may not be enough. Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group can show you potential ways to develop a new stream of income that can last as long as you live. Kind of like having your own personal pension. You won't have to worry about whether the market is up or down or who's sitting in the White House. You can spend your time instead on the things that matter, like family, friends, and doing the things you never had time to do before. Call Steve All today at 636-230-8824. That's 636-230-8824, and schedule a custom income review at no charge. Or find us online at yourmoneymattersstl.com. Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice.
Mid-America's most trusted voice for news. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
At 3 o'clock, it's a cloudy sky and 80 degrees downtown at the Arch. We're tracking a developing story. Police are providing an update after a St. Louis officer was hospitalized due to a crash at the intersection of Bell and Vandevetter Avenues this afternoon. The officer suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Illinois Senator Dick Durbin just held a news conference to discuss his decision not to run for re-election in 2026. He notes he is now 80 years old.
The campaign's going to last 2 years, and then you're going to serve 6 years. So are you ready to make an 8-year commitment? That's the truth and the reality of the United States Senate. I didn't think at this point it was the right thing to do. I think it was the right thing to pass the torch on to another generation.
Arkansas was denied federal relief for damage sustained by March's tornadoes. Should Missouri be concerned too?
Missouri Governor Mike Kehoe is confident the application and approach will grant them federal relief.
We think we have a good application. Our entire congressional delegation, a Republican and Democrat, by the way, also sent a letter to the president and to the administration.
U.S. Representative Wesley Bell says he will be concerned until they receive the federal aid, but the coalition gives him some hope.
Considering that the entire delegation, Democrats and Republicans, support this, I'm more optimistic that the right thing will be done. But yeah, I'm always going to be concerned until it's done.
In March, tornadoes ripped through Jefferson and St. Louis counties. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
President Trump says Vladimir Putin's already made a big concession in the push to end the war in Ukraine.
Asked what Vladimir Putin's doing to help reach a peace deal.
Taking the whole country. Pretty big concession.
The president spoke in the Oval Office hours after lobbing rare criticism at Putin following deadly strikes on Kyiv, with a social media post reading, "Vladimir, stop."
I didn't like last night. I wasn't happy with it. And we're in the midst of talking peace, and missiles were fired.
That's notable because the president's repeatedly said Russia is more willing than Ukraine to reach a deal. Still, after last night, he does not see Moscow as the obstacle to peace.
I don't think so. I think that they both want peace right now.
And meetings are happening.
This next few days, it's going to be very important.
Sagar Meghani, Washington.
The KMOX Business Desk, the average rate on a 30-year mortgage has eased a bit.
Modest relief for home buyers. Mortgage buyer Freddie Mac says the average rate on a 30-year mortgage fell this week to 6.81%. The average rate remains near its highest level in more than 2 months. Bond market volatility in recent weeks has helped push up mortgage rates, which loosely follow the trajectory in the 10-year Treasury yield. Elevated mortgage rates are weighing on home sales in what's traditionally the busiest time of the year for the housing market. I'm Alex Vega.
Let's get an update of the St. Louis Business Index now to Stifel and Scott Link. Scott?
Good afternoon, Michael. The initial jobless claims and the continuing jobless claim reports came in lower than expected today, leading markets to a third consecutive positive day, with the Dow Jones rising 486 points to 40,093. The S&P 500 was up 108 to 5,484. The NASDAQ rose 457 to 17,166. And the Bloomberg St. Louis Index was up 26 to 1,457. For stocks of local interest, a couple bright spots today were Build-A-Bear Workshop up $2.03 to $35.31, and Belden rose $4.44 to $101.37, and the leading decliners were Centene off 54 cents to $61.58, and Pulse Holdings was down $1.33 to $114.19. Finally, Stifel Financial was up $2.94 to $85.74. This has been Scott Link, Senior Vice President of Investments at Stifel, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. For more information on Stifel, please visit our website at stifel.com.
We've got a crash on 70 going east at Hanley. That's got the right 2 lanes closed. A stall on 60, 440 going east at Hanley, and that's got the right shoulder closed.
Partly sunny skies and feeling pretty good on this Thursday afternoon. 82 should do it for the high. We'll keep a chance of a couple of spotty showers, but don't expect much during the daylight hours. Tonight, clouds, scattered showers, and a couple of non-severe thunderstorms, especially as we get later into the night. 63. Friday still looks like the wet day of the week with periods of rain, couple of thunderstorms, non-severe 78. Fading showers Friday night. Saturday, partly sunny, 69. Sunday, partly sunny, maybe a spot afternoon shower. But again, a lot of dry time on Sunday, and 74. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Sponsored by Financial and Tax Strategies. We've got a cloudy sky. It's 80 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
It's never too early to start thinking about your retirement journey, and it's never too late either. You just need to know that the steps may look a little different. Listen to Wealth and Wisdom with Gary Goldberg, Saturday mornings at 7 here on KMOX.
Welcome back, guys. DGS 104.1 KMOX. Another beautiful day out there. I think we're supposed to get some rain maybe tonight and tomorrow. I'm not ready for the warmer weather. Like, this is cool. But when it gets to the point where you have to have your air on, that's when things start getting dicey for me. Both because my air is about to break and because I just don't enjoy it that much. Like, this is too hot for me. I like it when it's a high of maybe 60. You got the windows open. I mean, I can wish in one hand and crap in the other, but you know what I'm saying. Get to that point though.
Yeah, this is baseball weather though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was gonna say
true.
we're passing because I'm just now starting to emerge.
Starting to
I'm
wake
like
up.
I'm like those frozen iguanas in Florida that drop out of trees during the winter. I'm like starting to thaw and finally
Starting to blink a little bit.
Yeah, like, oh, my heart's starting to beat again. Like, nice.
That's funny. Yeah, I'm the opposite. I come alive in the ember months, and winter's okay with me. Even when I was driving a Jeep with no windows, like I was okay. But the heat, that kind of gets to me. Like everyone, when they get older, they move to Florida.
Yeah. Dave's like, I'm moving to
I'm
Alaska.
I'm going the other way. Before we start with, so Janelle, if you don't know her, she is our entertainment person and talks about movies and watch streaming and things like that. But first, a little food news.
Oh.
Do you guys know about the McCrispy strips?
Yep.
I know we couldn't get one past you.
correct.
I saw the headline today, but I left it alone for Fast News Friday.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Okay, Andrew.
They're just the chicken tenders. They've had them before. We were just talking about them the other day. Kevin was wondering if we
Can I
still
just say
had
something? I love you. You just sounded like a college professor
Oh,
when
yeah.
asked a stupid question about the Revolutionary War.
Right.
Like, we've had them before. We all know about this.
Yeah.
But if you insist on making me talk about it, okay.
No, I'm just saying
Lexington.
we've had our experiences with the McCrispy tenders. They're quite good. They're different from the McNuggets. They are more like they're a surprisingly higher quality chicken tender, I think, compared, because when you think McDonald's, you don't necessarily think bad, but you may not think of higher quality. But I think these the McCrispy tenders are quite good.
Janelle,
And
I know that you
excited for
watch your diet pretty carefully and train a lot. When you go off, what do you do?
Mexican food.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good
that's-
move. Yum.
It is a good move.
That's chimichangas and
Oh, look at you two.
Yep.
Look at you two Chonga lovers.
When
They're
I
the
was
best.
when
Take
I was
a
on the
burrito and
keto-
fry it. How could that be bad?
yeah, I don't no, that's my weaknesses.
when I was doing keto, that was like the one thing I really missed was like we would go to a Mexican restaurant and I couldn't have like the chips or whatever. Like that was the one thing that I was like, perhaps just one chip won't hurt.
I don't know.
Perhaps, but a single chip.
Sometimes it's like he's doing the show
He's
for
like,
himself.
He's like Professor
Could
Peabody
deny.
over there.
Just could deny a chip.
No one can have one chip.
May I have a chip?
Yeah, it screwed me up. I saw that thing on TikTok the other day where it's like 4 tortilla chips or 1 tortilla.
I don't think that's true.
I don't think that's true either,
That
but it
can't
was
be right.
really
No.
depressing.
Tortillas are way thicker
Unless,
than the
are you talking the
chips.
mini, like a mini tortilla?
I mean, even if it's a mini tortilla, let's say you eat 8 chips. So if you ate 2 mini tortillas, you'd be like, that's enough tortilla for me. But you could, like, I
That's-
could eat 30
But
tortilla
that's the same
chips.
with cheese sticks. You can eat 12 mozzarella sticks. You're not going to sit there and eat 12 cheese sticks. So it's like there's something
maybe.
about deep frying them.
You're not supposed to eat 12?
Wait, I was gonna say.
You're in the wrong room.
It is to me.
Regular? No, come on. There's a difference between cheese sticks and mozzarella cheese sticks.
I agree. Except at Chili's, I love those mozzarella sticks that you can get like as their appetizer in the triple dipper. But those are just like a block of
Yeah,
cheese
I don't
that have
like
been
them
fried.
because of that. They're just
they're pretty heavy.
daunting.
They are daunting.
Like
That's the
if
right
you
word.
said you just have to take 1 bite. I mean, I bought it. I can take as many bites as I want. But if you just get 1 bite, fine. But if you try to put that thing down, especially 2 other items from your triple dipper,
Mm,
that's a lot.
manage.
Manage.
I'll manage.
Chili's.
Oh,
Yeah, I'll manage.
I thought you meant manage. Like,
No.
gotta be more manly.
No.
Manage.
Manage.
Yeah.
Manage.
Dash.
Man up, Dave. Eat the
Not-
mozzarella stick.
Yeah, not the regular word, the weird word.
Manage it.
Yeah.
I really did. I was like, wow.
I didn't hear the dash.
I'm used to
Yeah.
I'm used to Wheeler being my contemporary. and
Yeah.
Suddenly he's skibbity toileting me.
Hey, no feet.
Lion has no feet.
Has no feet, brother.
So what have you seen recently?
Well, me and Andrew were just talking about Sinners that he was trying to convince you guys, and he accidentally kind of told you that it was kind of like a musical, and that was probably the worst thing to tell you. It's not like a musical. We agreed on that, did we not?
We did agree on that.
Yes.
Yeah, Kevin did not want to hear it was a musical.
You didn't tell me that it was a musical.
I said it's kind of like an action musical.
Oh, I don't remember you saying that.
Musical. That's even better.
Yeah,
It's like, I don't even
kinda,
know what
sorta.
that would be. Yeah, no, that's still getting a lot of hype. I think everybody should definitely, that's one to see in the theater. Everybody should see it. It had the best Easter weekend opening since Hannah Montana.
Whoa.
Well,
wow. There's
Man.
a reference I didn't expect today.
Hannah Montana and Gone with the Wind.
Well, same vein, right? So yeah, no, it's still doing great at the box office. You see a lot of great press for it on social media. I don't think anybody's really had a bad experience going to see it. So I really that, and I think The Accountant came out today. The Accountant 2 came out today. I still think it's better than the first one. It's not one of those that you definitely need to see in the theater, but it is good. It's a popcorn action flick. Really good stuff.
What is Sinners comparable to in vibe?
I've heard people say Dusk Till Dawn, but I don't know. Like me and Andrew were talking about, it's almost two different movies. At the very beginning of the movie, it's very, these two twin brothers are setting up, they come from a gangster background. They're setting up a juke joint. It's very period piece of that time, 1930s Mississippi. And the second half just shifts into, I will say seamlessly and flawlessly, into a vampire movie, but it's not like anything I've seen before.
I know you're not a big gore person. Is there a lot of gore?
I don't consider it gory.
Okay.
Did you see that Wolfman is on Peacock?
No.
Did you finally see it?
No, because of you. Just
It's
solely
terrible.
because of you. Every time I've watched the teaser 18 times. And I'm like, I don't know, it doesn't look that bad. And then I just feel like you're sitting on my couch and you're going to judge me.
For $20, I would.
Yeah.
Especially if you.
I came really close.
I'm gonna say it's free now, but I mean, you'd have to have the Peacock subscription.
Yeah,
but
which I don't think. I mean, I can't believe there's a subscription I don't have, but
yeah,
yeah.
I'm kind of surprised, but yeah, no, it's out. I stumbled across it and I was like, I wonder if he's seen this yet.
I never finished the Demeter. Was that what it was called?
The
Did you
Last
see that
Voyage of
one?
Demeter?
Yeah, I didn't either.
It was okay. And here's why. First of all, when I went to the theater, a bunch of kids got out of hand and the cop had to like pull a gun. So I'm like, I guess I'm not going to finish this. Yeah, he came in with his hand on the gun. I'm like, seriously? Like, I thought I paid that ticket. And then I tried to watch it at home, and I have a pretty nice television. But it was so dark. I was just like, I look like the hanging Chad guy. I'm like 8 inches from, just trying to figure out what the hell was going on.
It was just too predictable.
Too boring.
I mean, like I guess who's gonna go now? Guess
Well,
I mean, like it was like, I don't know, it was just a little cliche.
Well, it was like a chapter from Bram
Right.
Stoker's Dracula, so
Right.
you knew what was going to happen. I didn't mind it because I enjoy the I forgot the gentleman who starred in it, but I mean I like the cast. It was fine. I enjoy a good monster flick more than I do like anything that's just gore for gore's sake.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean it's not the best. It's not the worst vampire movie I've ever seen.
Does anyone else think that Bram Stoker's Dracula is one of the most romantic movies ever made?
Yes.
Good.
It's actually one of my yeah. People think I'm weird when I say that, but yeah.
Over the weekend, I watched one of my 70s horror movies that effed me up because you watch them way too young in the 70s. The Changeling with George C. Scott.
Yeah.
That thing holds up.
Does it?
Yes.
Really?
It's so the pacing is so, what's the word? Confident.
Okay.
The pacing is so much slower. And the jump scares are just more legit. There's no like cats, it's stuff that is weaved into the storyline. And it seems like the 70s had like the Corman stuff where it was all just, kind of blissfully hacky. But the 70s horror movies have a thing. Like there's a vibe to them.
Yeah.
They remade that with Angelina Jolie.
I think it's a completely different story.
Then they didn't remake that with
Yes.
Angelina Jolie.
I think it's just the same name.
They stole the name. Is that what they did?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I think is the one that you're talking about, Rachel. Is that the one where it's like her kid was kidnapped?
Mhm.
Yeah.
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 I've seen that one. I haven't seen
Anything on streaming that you're excited about?
I'm gonna try to watch all the Marvel movies that will have the Thunderbolt characters in it leading up to it because I have not seen it.
How many
And
of those are there?
I don't know. So you probably got Ant-Man the Wasp with Ghost. You have Black Widow with Taskmaster. Black Widow with Yelena and the Red Guardian, and probably some like Civil War Winter Soldier with Bucky. So I'll probably watch those. Just they didn't give us a screening here in St. Louis. Disney didn't, and that's like the first MCU movie that they haven't done. And I'm really bummed about it. So.
What are the best ways if I wanted to catch up with something, but I don't want to watch 5 movies? Are there lots of things on YouTube where it's like, just get me
Oh,
to
yeah.
get me to here?
Yeah. Like primers. Like if you're going to see this, here's what you need to know.
Yeah.
Tons of that stuff.
YouTube is probably the biggest generation gap for me. Like I will go to YouTube, but it's typically to watch some weird thing about simulation theory. I don't use it as my primary source, and so many people I know do.
Well, be careful what you say primary source, because unfortunately a lot of people are using it as their primary source.
Yeah. But for entertainment
Yes, for
and stuff, it's
entertainment, yeah.
perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Like
But
because you're just getting
breakdowns and
you're getting summaries or opinions, which is what you're looking
Right.
for.
Yeah, it's a perfect.
It's big with you guys, right?
It's also a great
Right?
place
Oh,
to
yeah.
figure out how to fix something.
I watch more YouTube than anything else.
Not for me, Wheels.
No?
It is just a source of frustration. Because
Oh.
like here's the way it goes. Like with my old Jeep. Like, okay, how do you put the windows in and out? And you got some friggin' white guy with white guy music behind him. Ba-da-da, ah-da-da-ba-da-ba-da-doo-doo, boo-boo. And he's like, I'm just here by myself and I'm about to take this roof off. And he goes, bink, and it's off. And it's never the way it works.
So he's
Right.
managing.
He's managing.
Oh.
Something I need to do.
Yeah.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Farming's hard. To feed the world, farmers have to work the land, brave the elements, and fight the battle against weeds. Weeds reduce crop yields, so prices go up and everybody gets less to eat. But 50 years ago, farmers got a new tool to fight weeds, glyphosate. It kills weeds while protecting the harvest. Time and again, it has been approved by the EPA and by leading regulatory bodies around the world. It helps enable practices that reduce erosion and keep soil healthy, which is good for the earth. Farming's hard, but it's a little easier with glyphosate. Learn more at go.bayer.com/glyphosate. Paid for by Bayer.
This month, Siteman Cancer Center spotlight is testicular cancer. Dr. Woodson Smelser.
Yeah, so the first step is to talk to your doctor, and generally they would order imaging of the testicle and look for actual tumor, and oftentimes they will do an examination or send you to a urologist to have an examination. And I find that the place where a lot of times men have some hesitance or trepidation, obviously, because it seems like it may be an invasive exam, but that's an exam that could save your life.
Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, visit siteman.wustl.edu.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
It's awful, hon.
My brother got life insurance from Ethos and it only took 10 minutes. And he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Will new tariffs impact small businesses? Rising costs and economic uncertainty can hurt your bottom line. But with Swish Funding, your business can stay strong. We offer fast, flexible funding solutions from $10,000 to $2 million for working capital, cash flow, and more, and as little as 24 hours with no collateral needed. If your business earns at least $50,000 per month and has been around for over a year, you could qualify today. Go to swishradio.com and use code RADIO. Swishradio.com, code RADIO.
Take me out to my TV, a FanDuel Sports Network. Yeah. Watch me some dingers and RBIs. I'm just glad they have my local team live for its root for the Cardinals on FanDuel Sports Network. Cardinals games, Chip and Brad, the birds on the bat. Did I mention they have the Cardinals? Stream now.
An important message from SNL Coins. SNL Coins pays top dollar for your gold and silver coins, old currency, gold-filled jewelry, scrap gold and silver, silver plating, gold and silver bullion. Get a quote with a call to SNL at 544-3600. SNL Coins, 544-3600. Or visit SNL Coins at 9300 Gravois, just east of McKenzie. Open 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 Saturday. Before you sell, call SNL 544-3600.
Retiring soon? Get the information you need by joining Kyle Jones and Matt Allgeier of Fire Capital Management for your retirement highway, Sunday mornings at 9:30. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
Anderson is the #1 window and door brand for customer service. Find out why Renewal by Anderson has the most 5-star reviews in St. Louis at rbastl.com or call 314-332-1957, rbastl.com.
You asked, we delivered. KMOX, now on FM. Crystal clear sound at 104.1 FM.
Welcome back, DG. Ask 322. Rach, I didn't give you any prior warning, but do you want to do Throwback Thursday?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay.
Hold on a second.
Just to stretch out.
Yep. All right. Feeling better, ready to go. 225 years ago, in the year 1800, the Library of Congress was established with a $5,000 allocation for the purchase of such books as may be necessary. The library now contains 30 million books on more than 530 miles of shelves.
Yeesh.
Yeah, I would like to go there.
Yeah, that's cool.
51 years ago, in 1974, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were established as an NFL franchise.
With the creamsicle uniforms.
Yeah. Never a fan of any of it.
People love that. Like football people, I think they're dumb.
Yeah. I don't like it.
51 years ago, also in 1974, legendary comedian Bud Abbott died at the age of 76. Of course, the classic Abbott and Costello comedy bit, Who's on First, is even featured in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Few things make me more nervous
than that bit.
Even if it's on tape. Well, it's going to be on tape because they're dead.
Yeah.
But even when I'm seeing the classic one on tape, I know they're going to nail it, but it makes me really nervous.
I loved that bit so much when I was
nervous.
a kid.
Like I don't quite understand
Because
it's a rhythm.
I get nervous watching people do things I can't do.
Mm-hmm.
And so watching them do that, knowing I could not do that, it's sort of like when I watch baseball. I've told you guys this before. Too many times someone comes up to bat and I put myself in their position. I'm like, well, I'm not going to get a hit on this one. I really do. And then if they don't get a hit, I'm like, I did that.
failed.
My mojo did that.
Oh.
And I'll even go outside and flog myself with a switch or something.
Oh.
And so for that one, yeah, I feel the same way. I feel like they're going to screw this up in some way.
36 years ago in 1989, Massachusetts declared New Kids on the Block Day. And
Before
no
your
one's
time,
celebrating
right?
today. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't
Your
tell
time?
you.
My time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you into them? Did you have a favorite?
Course, yeah.
Who was your favorite? Who was the cutie?
Who is my favorite? Now I'm gonna have to even try to think of
Their
Probably the youngest one. Probably just because I was what was that? 89? Did she say?
Mm-hmm.
I was.
You don't have to say.
15, 14. I don't know how old I was.
Who
that
was your
one?
band
Something
like
about
that,
that.
Rach? Did you have a band of
13.
like I have a crush on this guy?
I mean, I guess in sync. Justin Timberlake.
Andrew?
I preferred Backstreet Boys. I think
Andrew's
I think I preferred
BTS.
Well, now it's BTS, obviously.
Are they together or are they in
And
the
it's-
army?
And it's Jin. They're slowly getting out of the army, little
Oh,
by little.
man.
The 2 years
Have
are.
they changed?
Big days coming ahead.
Did it change them?
I think it's changed them. I think they're different. I was talking to my wife about this the other day.
Wait a minute. Which one do you have a crush on?
I like Jin.
Okay.
He's my favorite. I prefer Jin.
Without hesitation.
I couldn't even finish the question.
Yeah.
prefer Jin.
She stumbled over it.
I think they're going to be different. I think they have to. I mean, you have to come out changed men. Plus, they're all like 30 now, or at least I think the oldest is going to
They
be
too
like
old for you
31,
now?
32. Well, no, I'm just saying. I think they're going to be a little different. I'm not fully convinced they're going to get back together as a group.
Oh,
there's been no like announcements made about this.
Can't they make them?
I guess.
It's not that Korea, Dave.
Oh, okay.
I think it's really interesting. I think it's really interesting too. Like you've got this group at like the height of their popularity, like they all just have to like stop and just completely cease all
Didn't Elvis?
public everything and go into the military.
Yeah.
I think I feel like there's a difference. I don't know why I feel like there's a difference.
Because everybody moves on to things quicker.
Yeah.
Sure.
I don't know. I'm
you're
very
past them?
curious to see what things are going to be like.
I'm a little
when they-
surprised that South Korea didn't have a carve out. Like these guys are so popular.
I think they did for a time, right?
They
were able
got
to
it delayed.
defer for-
Yeah, they got it delayed for a little bit of
Nice.
time. But I was very surprised. I think everybody was. Certainly the band was. The band was trying to get it so that they didn't have to go into the mill. They didn't want to go.
Yeah.
And they were fighting it for a really long time, and eventually the Supreme Court of South Korea was like, nope, sorry, still got to do your mandatory.
Did they do an Elvis where they followed them around and did press releases and
Nothing like that.
Jin's on a tank crew?
There's been basically nothing at all. So there was a big scandal in South Korea a few years before that, where some big, I don't remember if he was an actor or a pop star or what, but he went into the military, and some of the other guys in the military were taking pictures of him in the shower and stuff and selling them to the South Korea paparazzi.
Why'd you have to pay for those?
But no, so
That's not what I was expecting to come next.
No, I know.
Easy.
But so that changed some of the rules about what you could. So there was total radio silence from.
This has been really disturbing.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like
Let me tell you more about it.
It wasn't really supposed to be funny, but everybody's laughing, so I guess it was funny.
They were just
No,
all
it
sudsed
wasn't.
up.
No, that's
It's-
not funny. What's funny is the level of detail that we have on this now.
Yes. Thank you for helping me manage
You're
that.
welcome.
In Kirkwood, mornings start early, and so does the news. From downtown shops to the farmer's market, KMOX is on.
Congratulations, Debbie in Kirkwood. Debbie from Kirkwood has won tickets to see the Battlehawks play.
Oh, she's going to have a good time.
Oh, she's going to have the best time.
Now on 104.1 FM, KMOX is clearer than ever. Same great stories, same trusted voices, just easier to catch. 104.1 FM, KMOX, the voice of Kirkwood, the voice of St. Louis.
We started Neovitin because we wanted to create a multivitamin for ourselves. That's why we focus on quality ingredients and formulas with our multivitamins. Neovitin 50 Plus multivitamins are formulated with over 20 vitamins and minerals, along with our 4-ingredient physician-formulated proprietary blend for the highest quality daily nutritional support. Give Neovitin 50 Plus multivitamins a try for yourself. Find them at your local Schnucks, Dierbergs, and online at neovitin.com.
Hey, it's Matt Pauley telling you about i3 Broadband. It might be time for you to go ahead and switch out your internet. It was amazing when the Pauley household brought in i3 Broadband. The speeds are so much faster. We're saving a few dollars. The service is fantastic. I never have to worry, a storm is coming in. I wonder if my internet's going to go out. They've got local service centers in St. Charles County and the Metro East. It is St. Louis people who are working for i3 Broadband. See if they're available in your neighborhood. Check them out. i3broadband.com.
Hi, Mia here at the winnings desk of the Missouri Lottery. So, I wanted to write a thank you note for every dollar Missouri Lottery players have given to Missouri and education, but that would be 8.4 billion notes. So, to save a little time and a whole lot of paper, here's just one. Dear every single lottery player in Missouri, thank you for helping us give $8.4 billion to Missouri and education. Sorry, my trumpet's in the shop. The Missouri Lottery. Winners welcome and play responsibly.
Traffic from the michaelsflooringoutlet.com traffic center.
Well, we've got a crash westbound on Highway 70 at Jennings Station. It's over in the right lane, also in that right exit lane to Jennings Station. That has you backed up to about Kings Highway. Dealing with an incident on the Poplar Street Bridge, reported as a stall eastbound 5564 on the Poplar, blocking the right lane. That has you backed up eastbound on Highway 44 from the Compton overpass. Northbound 55 is heavy from 44. Eastbound on Highway 64, you're heavy from the 14th Street headed up to the Poplar Street Bridge. In the Metro East, eastbound 5564, you're stop and go from the Poplar up to the merge with Highway 70. There's road construction just on the other side of Highway 70 there. That's what's causing those delays. You lose a lane there. Southbound on 270 this afternoon, you've got pockets of volume between Page and Doherty Ferry. Westbound on Highway 70, not bad crossing the Blanchette Bridge. You're getting back on the brakes between 79 and Highway K. West of there, not a bad run headed out to Wentzville. I'm Frank Ladd at the michaelsflooringoutlet.com Traffic Center.
DEA's National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day. Learn more at DEATakeback.com.
Help keep our community safe and healthy during National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, April 26th. Find a collection site near you at deatakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent drug misuse before it starts.
Another RX Watch, brought to you by Onder Law.
Welcome back to RX Watch. This alert is disturbing.
Right. A while back, we learned that companies like Johnson & Johnson use a mineral called talc in baby powder and other products.
And studies show that talc, when used for feminine hygiene, can cause ovarian cancer.
Now listen to this. RX Watch has learned that the talc they use is being mined in China.
Right, and talc mined in China contains heavy metal contaminants like chromium and magnesium, which are known to cause cancer. But China doesn't care.
So China gets the jobs and we get contaminated talc in our baby powder.
And ovarian cancer.
Right. With their specialized tests, the medical team at Onder Law can help you know if your ovarian cancer was caused by talc.
Onder Law has helped women for years with free and confidential consultation. You need to call Onder Law's pharma attorneys at 1-800-RX-WATCH.
Call Onder Law at 1-800-RX-WATCH.
That's 1-800-RX-WATCH or go to rxwatch.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
The Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup is coming back to St. Louis on May 7th. Join us at Energizer Park for the round of 32 as St. Louis City SC hosts Union Omaha and plays for the historic trophy. Get tickets now at stlcitysc.com/Open Cup.
Tired of battling pests in your home and yard? At Rottler Pest Solutions, we are your trusted partner for year-round pest protection. From termites and mosquitoes to moles and brown recluse spiders, we provide proven solutions to keep your home and family protected. With flexible scheduling, 24/7 support, and warranted protection for qualifying properties, we are always here when you need us. Visit Rottler.com today to schedule your free inspection. Rottler Pest Solutions. We know St. Louis pests because we know St. Louis best.
Spring into a new home with amazing savings at TR Hughes. Hi, I'm Jason Hughes with TR Hughes Homes, and we are currently offering half off up to $40,000 in options and up to $5,000 in closing costs on brand new to-be-built homes at select TR Hughes communities. That's right, half up to $40,000 in options and up to $5,000 in closing costs. Visit trhughes.com for details.
The choice of a home builder is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
However, you really should visit trhughes.com.
Cards manager Ollie Marble joins the Gas House Gang every Tuesday at noon. Sponsored by Seichmann Cancer Center on the voice of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Welcome back, guys. DGS 104.1 FM KMOX. Was that Dave?
I think so.
Man, you're like Michael Winslow from Police
That's
Academy.
right.
Making
I'm
some,
ready.
Making some noises over there.
I thought he was popping bubble gum.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Like a cheerleader.
That was-
I tell you, Michael Winslow was here not that long ago.
Yeah, I
a couple
know.
weeks ago, yeah.
Yeah, I saw him out there and I didn't recognize him.
I was bummed that I didn't see him.
I knew he was someone important, but I didn't know who it was. So
You know, I can shake off conversations on this show fairly quickly.
Yeah.
I'm having trouble shaking off Andrew and BTS.
Yeah.
Have you seen Jen?
I have, but
He's really
we
quick.
need
You
an
have.
intervention here.
Dave, he's changed so much.
He's so different. He actually he's doing a weird thing because he's got the first song
No,
coming
stop
out.
it, Andrew.
Okay.
Wait a minute. How long did they serve?
2 years. 2 years
Oh,
mandatory.
okay.
and they
been
were
2
filming
years?
him in the shower and he was sudsy and he was built.
He's a man now.
Man edged.
Man edged.
Oof. Oh my god.
He's not backing away from it.
Oof.
No.
No, he's not.
No.
No.
Lean in.
So when you went to the BTS concert at the theater with all the screaming girls,
Ugh.
not
Talk
good.
about wolf. No, it was terrible. It was a horrible theater experience. I went and saw them like 2 years before that in I think 2019, and they were starting to take off here. Obviously, you know, my wife had learned about them, of course, and so they were taking off here in the States. But I saw it at Ronnie's, and there was like 2 other couples in the theater. I mean, there was nobody in there, and it was a lovely time. Everybody was quiet and respectful, and we watched and enjoyed the show. Eat some popcorn, you know, 5-6 hot dogs. You know, who's
You
keeping
just
track?
threw your wife under the bus.
Who's keeping track? Well, she's a huge fan. That's how I know about them, because she's a super fan. And just 2 years later, they had exploded so much in popularity over here that it was an absolutely sold out, packed ass to ankles theater. Everybody's screaming and freaking out.
Ass to ankles.
Yeah,
What's that mean?
like we're all like packed in, like there was no breathing room.
picture it.
Like
I don't know how to
everybody,
picture
Like
that.
human centipede.
every single seat was taken. We're all just scrunched in there in this theater. No room
I
to
need to
stretch
get a
out.
shower
at all.
after this, I think.
Look, if
Damn,
y'all haven't
man.
heard the term, I don't know what to tell you. Anyway,
Ass to
No
elbows.
one's ever heard that.
it could be either. I don't know. Whatever.
No, it
Look
can't.
at that. I thought it had something to do with elbows.
Yeah,
Sure. Okay.
asses to ankles. That's some.
Hey, ass to wherever.
That's some weird.
Everybody's in a catcher squat.
Ass to wherever you.
Take it, everyone, stop talking.
So I'm just saying. Put it wherever. I'm just saying.
Put it wherever.
There were so many screaming people in this theater. It was terrible. It
Yeah,
was
it sounds
horrible.
like it.
because their asses were by their feet.
It's not that
I
hard.
don't think they're by their feet. I think they're by other people's feet.
Yeah.
I mean, if my ass is on my ankle, who cares?
That's not a comfortable position, though.
Oh no.
But anyway, what was the question going to be?
I have no idea.
There's no question. There was
No.
no question.
No, there wasn't.
But it was terrible, and I would never do it again because it was.
Who
a
is
dreadful
your wife's
experience.
favorite?
Oh God, Jimin. Wow, I can't believe it.
Oh,
See,
I
they've been.
remember you saying
You
that.
remember Jimin? Yeah.
Do you guys ever fight about it?
No. I don't mind Jimin. Jimin's fine.
Is there one
He's
that's
no
not
threat.
fine?
A little too girly for my taste. No, I think they're all good. I like them all.
Okay.
A little too girly
Jimin is the girliest one.
for my taste.
Jimin's the
I
girl.
like my teenage boys a little more manly.
They're not teenage boys. They're like
30s now.
35. Yeah. They're like my age. But they it's
They're
been
not called man bands after all.
it's so weird. They've been gone for so
Thank
long.
you, Kevin.
I just can't imagine them keeping that level of relevance.
He won't stop. He just won't stop.
No, he won't stop.
Well, no one's doing the weather.
Oh, this is way better.
He may never do the weather again. I think you've changed Dave Murray.
I've ruined him.
Dave's like, there's a cold coming through, and it's going to be asses to ankles. No space in these storms.
Nope.
Well, talk about a segue. There is a cold front on the way.
No, thank you. Thank you.
Now, tomorrow still looks like it's going to be a little unsettled. This is not a big system. There'll be some showers from time to time on Friday. If a thunderstorm gets going, it's non-severe. It's not an all-day rain. Still warm, 78 degrees. Any showers fade quickly Friday evening. Most Friday night is going to be fine, 55. The weekend, last weekend of April, believe it or not.
Wow.
Saturday, partly sunny. Nice day Saturday, but it's cooler. 69 degrees, kind of where we should be. Quiet Saturday night, partly cloudy, 49. And Sunday, partly to mostly sunny, 74. Beautiful afternoon on Sunday. Still interested in Tuesday for a threat of strong to severe weather. A long way off, but we put it on the table yesterday. I'm going to keep it on the table. Now, back to our BTS conversation.
Yes.
No.
Yes. So,
So
No, please.
Andrew, who's the ugly one?
well, let's think. I think probably.
Let's do.
I think. I mean, a lot of people love J-Hope. I think J-Hope is probably
I
not
was
the
thinking,
most.
I was looking at these guys and I was like, oh, I guess J-Hope's probably the cutest.
You think he's the cutest? See, that's what I'm saying. A lot of people really love J-Hope a lot. He would just. I think he headlined Lollapalooza last year. He was like.
But you find him the ugliest.
He's had a big career though. Like he's been really taken off as a solo artist. He was one of the first to go smartly. He was one of the first to go into the military, which means
So,
of course he's one of the first to get out.
Jimin
is
the girly.
That's the girly one.
J-Hope.
J-Hope.
J-Hope is the ugly one.
Mm-hmm.
Then who's
they
left?
call him the ugly one. There's Suga. There's
You made that up.
He's the lead rapper.
He's the lead. Yeah, he's the main rapper. Is Suga. Now there's 3 rappers
Wait,
and 4
they rap?
singers.
Yeah.
There's 3 rappers and 4 singers.
Oh, there's a 7-man band.
There's a 7. Yeah, it's a 7-person group. So there's Suga. There's RM. There's V. And the
Missing
other
one,
one.
sleeping.
What is his Jungkook? Jungkook.
Grumpy.
I can't believe I forgot Jungkook. He's the main one.
Yeah,
he's the
that's
most
the only name
popular.
I know.
He's the youngest one.
Is he the Paul McCartney?
Yeah, he's the lead singer. He's also the youngest one.
But he's not the rapper.
He does not rap. No, he just sings.
So this is like the Linkin Park of boys bands.
Yeah, so it's actually kind of tricky because you got to fit all 7 into every song, right? Like all
Sure.
7 of them have to have a part in each song.
Yeah.
So you have to find 4 different vocal tracks plus 3 rap verses in every single BTS song.
So you
It
can
can get a
tell
little
like when each
complicated.
guy gets their little part who that is.
Oh yeah, you can tell. I mean, they're different people. You can tell.
They're different people. They're different humans.
It's just like if you asked about the DGS. So can you tell when Kevin
Well,
says
no,
something
there's
and when
not
Rachel says
7
something?
of us though. Like it's 7 of them.
No, you can tell the difference. It takes a little training because you got to learn who each voice is.
Sure.
Yeah, you just got to figure out who's doing what. It's like the Beatles with Paul and George and
Yeah.
No, that's Tom.
There's
John.
people driving off the road right now.
I
Just
know.
driving off the road.
Paul, Ringo, George, and Tom.
And
I
Tom.
know. I
And
felt-
Kyle. That's my favorite.
Yeah,
Beatle.
Kyle's the best Beatle.
Yeah, Tom Lennon, right? Isn't- Jim and Lennon, the songwriter. He was the cute one. No, the smart one. Paul was the cute
He's
one.
just not. It's just.
I encourage everybody out there to listen to BTS. They're very talented.
Oh, I'm
They
sure
are.
you've converted
Yeah.
many from
Yeah.
Their
KMOX.
songs.
They're excellent. Don't listen to the English songs because most of the English songs are bad, but their Korean songs are wonderful.
Do you understand them?
In the Korean songs?
Yes.
No, I don't speak Korean.
I mean, I'm sure there are translations.
I mean, you can find a translation,
So they
but
could
you
be
know.
singing about ending America, and you're just like, right on.
I mean, I roughly know what they're. You get a vibe
He's
from
like,
what they're
I
singing
can
about.
rock to that.
Right
Yeah,
on, girly boy.
you get a vibe what they're singing about. But some of the songs are just gorgeous. Just gorgeous songs.
I'm not sure of much anymore.
We're all stunned. We're just stunned.
Look, this is not a secret on the show. I'm a huge
No,
BTS fan.
but it's the most
now.
you've delved into.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
just
we
the
did make
deli-
him sing BTS karaoke one time.
Yeah, that was classic.
I just love the whole. I don't speak Korean.
I love the implication that we thought he did.
Yeah,
Well,
right.
Dave said, "Can you
We
understand
kinda-
them?" And I
we
was like,
kinda-
"Well, no, they're singing in Korean."
I don't know who's stupid for that. I mean, I feel stupid, but
I feel pretty stupid too.
Woo.
Okay.
There you go,
Rachel,
Dave.
how about some headlines?
yeah, how about it?
Do you have anything about
I mean, at least
BTS?
cleanse the palate.
Do you have
for
any
us.
BTS headlines?
Yeah.
I don't.
Jen's got a new song coming out.
Headlines is brought to you by Schnucks. Reward yourself daily with the Schnucks Rewards app. This is a fun story that everyone can dunk on these guys for. Socialists, AOC, and Bernie Sanders have been caught on video exiting a $15,000 per hour private jet to attend their Fighting the Oligarchy rally. I don't understand. I don't know how they're supposed to be getting around. I get why they're using a private jet, but it's like such a terrible look. It is not a surprise at all.
They got to
People are
figure
jumping on
something
them for
out.
this.
They got to figure
I
something
didn't
out.
hear a word she said
Oh.
because I am singing "Party in the USA" as if it's BTS, and I can't stop.
You can't stop.
I'm just picturing girly Jimin singing that song, and now it's.
If you
did bring
if
up
you
piano
saw
too.
Jimin, you would agree.
Oh.
Don't tell me what I would think.
He's very pretty. I mean, he's like they're all models, you know.
They're all attractive.
Yeah, they're all good looking.
They're a boy band, for goodness sake.
yeah.
They don't hire uggos for that.
It would be very funny if they were all really ugly.
Rachel,
for
you're
J-Hope.
falling into the quicksand. Be careful.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, your ass is gonna be next to his ankles.
Kind of don't
That's
know where
how
to
they
go
do it
from
in South
here.
Korea.
So we do it when we're watching.
Oh, I wanted to do this with
BTS.
Dave Murray because a glitch on Apple Weather and Google showed a scary air quality in Chicago. This is why you shouldn't get your weather from your phone.
Absolutely.
Several popular weather apps in Chicago displayed inaccurate and dangerously high air quality levels on Wednesday, causing mass confusion and concern among residents. Google's air quality map indicated that Chicago had the worst air in the country, and Apple showed the air quality index levels in the 400s. It was later confirmed to be a glitch, and the actual air quality was not that bad. But this is why you should listen to trusted meteorologists like Dave Murray instead
That's
of relying
right.
on your phone.
Yeah.
And BTS.
Does anybody alter their behavior when an air quality report says something or other?
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
Like I see the signs on the highways once in a while. I'm like,
I do.
I mean,
What do you do?
I still got to go to work.
Like if you got like we walked to lunch today for a good distance downtown. It was a good 7-8 blocks, and I probably would not have gone if there was a really bad air quality.
Really?
So I got asthma, and I don't have great lungs to begin with.
I didn't
so.
know you. I've known you 15 years. I didn't know you had asthma.
Yeah, because I don't run or do anything physical.
Except for dance to BTS.
That's right, BTS. Right.
You ever seen me run?
So you're in asthma remission.
Yeah, I'm. You haven't seen me have any breathing problems because you've never seen me do anything physical.
This show is absolutely up for the Marconi.
That's
Award.
why
physical
you
thing I've ever
drive-
seen me
that's
do is
why you
standing
drive
up.
to KFC, isn't it? That's why you
This
drive
is
to
what
KFC.
should
Do
get the
you
award.
have an inhaler in case you're forced to run?
No, because I even if I was forced to, I probably would.
Would what?
Wouldn't. Yeah, I would. I mean, even if there like Godzilla came crashing through.
Andrew would just be like, it's my time.
Yeah.
So there's a
Now,
mass
if-
shooter, and you're like, I have asthma and I can't run.
If BTS were to call you up on stage, would you dance?
Oh yeah. I mean, I can.
Oh,
dance.
he's a dancer.
Yeah, I can dance. Just. I mean, I can't full body dance for too long if I.
So,
You
Give
know.
him a chair.
Because keep in mind, on top of the
can you
asthma
play
and the
Party in
bad
the USA
lungs,
for me?
on top of the asthma and the bad lungs, I also am out of shape. Pretty bad.
Show them how you can dance. Hold on.
I don't need to. I'm already dancing. I got music in my head.
It's like the gopher in Caddyshack
Yeah.
from where we sit.
Just
This is all you see. Easy.
from the waist up.
Thank you, Dave. I apologize.
Oh, thank you.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
I'm looking at a crash headed to southbound on Highway 170 involving a school bus. It's blocking the center lane just south of Ladue. So you're getting by it in the far left lane and the far right lane southbound on 170. You've got delays approaching that scene. There's also in that same area an incident at the end of the ramp from northbound 170 onto eastbound Forest Park Parkway, right at the end of the ramp, partially blocking the entrance ramp to Forest Park Parkway. Still dealing with the crash westbound on Highway 70 at Jennings Station. It's moved over to the right shoulder and the right exit lane for Jennings Station. So that's the good news. All the through lanes are back open westbound on Highway 70. Make your way out of the city. Still seeing delays headed to the Metro East. Eastbound on Highway 44. You're on the brakes now. Jefferson, before Jefferson, I should say, headed up to Highway 55. Similar story from Jefferson eastbound on Highway 64 up to the Poplar Street Bridge. Northbound 55 is heavy, headed towards the Poplar. Headed east on the Poplar Street Bridge, crossing into the Metro East. You're stop and go all the way up to the Highway 70 merge. You've got delays on the other side of the Highway 70 merge there due to road construction. It's busy as well, ramping onto the Musial Veterans Bridge this afternoon. Those delays southbound on 170 due to the accident with the school bus start at Olive. The delays start on westbound Highway 70 from about Grand headed out to Jennings Station. 270 southbound this afternoon is not bad. You do have your normal pocket of volume headed into the work zone southbound on Highway 55. I'm Frank Led in the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Sponsored by Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty 314-325-6888.
Need to sell your home and you want the most money? The name to remember is Gloria Lou. Yes, Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty at 314-325-6888 and start packing.
At Odyssey, we believe in creating a diverse and inclusive workforce. We also value the power of community and encourage local organizations to help us in referring qualified applicants to our stations. If you're a community organization interested in receiving our vacancy information, simply email equalemployment@odyssey.com. You'll be notified of all our open positions. That's equalemployment@odyssey.com. And for all our listeners, please visit odysseyinc.com/careers for a list of job openings at all Odyssey radio stations.
Hey, my name is Nee Addy, and I'm the Chief Marketing Officer of Philo, the TV streaming service that puts its audience first. What does that mean? It means no hidden fees and no long contracts. It means 24/7 customer support with real people. And it means the easiest and most affordable way to watch the stuff you love to watch. Live TV from networks like A&E, BET, Nickelodeon, and Discovery. All the groundbreaking blockbusters from AMC+. A huge library of movies and shows on demand that you can stream now or save to rewatch for up to a year and fast forward through commercials. We even have more than 100 channels that are always free, even if you pause or cancel your subscription. And the best part, TV shouldn't break the bank. So all of this is just $28 a month when you sign up at philo.tv. Check us out risk-free. That's philo.tv.
So let me tell you guys about the process when you reach out to Universal Windows Direct. You're going to see and feel the windows. You're going to see the great construction built like a tank. Show you how you use them so that you see it's very, very user-friendly. They can tell you about the heating and cooling savings you're going to have 12 months out of the year. Keeps the cool air in this time of year and the warm air in during the winter months. Much easier to budget, much more comfortable. It's going to give your house a better resale. They'll give you a lifetime warranty. Once you buy their windows, you're never going to pay a dime for the windows again. Even if you break them and it's your fault, we'll come out and we'll fix them or we'll replace them at our cost. If you go to sell your house, you can pass on a 20-year warranty to the person buying your house. You buy 2 windows, you get 2 free with no limit on how many you can buy. Interest-free financing through 2030, $500 off your total bill. They really make it easy for you at Universal Windows Direct. Call 314-334-2522 or visit universalwindowsdirect.com.
Join KMOX broadcasting live from Chesterfield Valley Nursery, Saturday, April 26th from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Take advantage of special offerings for Customer Appreciation Day. Saturday, the 26th at Chesterfield Valley Nursery, just east of the entertainment complex.
Because we have lawyers in all 50 states, I see lots of lawyers' ads. Most seem to be bragging on results, but are they true or misleading? For example, in some cases, a firm may try a case even though the at-fault party has no lawyer, then brag in the ad about their results. My son Matt got one for nearly $50 million, but we never collected one dime. Some lawyers may say they got a result even though they were sitting second chair at a firm like mine, and even though they had little to do with it. Happens all the time. All that glitters is not gold. At Morgan & Morgan, our results are real. Visit forthepeople.com and go to settlements and verdicts to see for yourself what your case may be worth before you hire a law firm. Do your homework. Fact check. It's easy and too important not to. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Welcome back, DGS. Tom says maybe the best segment since the sandwich caper. Andrew's always a star. You're the Kramer.
I wouldn't mind stealing a sandwich right now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You still having your little battle going on with some of the people out there who are sandwich shaming you?
Yeah.
Can you tell us that story, how that's been going?
No,
You don't have to name names.
Yeah, no, I think they think it's funny. Maybe it's unfortunate because whether they should know things about me or not, it's not important. The only thing they know about me is that they think I stole a sandwich or whatever, or there was a joke about me eating a sandwich or whatever it might be. And so, of course, coworker culture, I now have to deal with, hey, steal a sandwich. Hope you're not stealing a sandwich. And I'm like, nah, I'm just printing something on a printer. I'm standing in front of the printer. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of like that sort of thing. And it's like, I understand you're being funny, but it's like, whatever. Yeah.
Ready for instant curb appeal that comes with a 25-year transferable warranty? Call Rhino Shield today. We do brick, block, stucco, asbestos, aluminum, steel, cedar, and more. Over the past 20 years, we've done thousands of homes, businesses, churches, schools, condos, parking garages, large metal buildings, and strip malls, from Champaign to the Lake of the Ozarks. We do flat and sloped metal roofs to extend their lives too. Proud to be veteran-owned and manufactured in the good old USA. So we're tariff-free. We're exceeding expectations every day.